888-266-2626. That's the Heister Automotive Group hotline, and you can call in next hour. But first, before we get to any of that, we have to get to the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Panthers lose 26-10 to open the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bruh.
You know, I'm kind of used to it now, but that intro for Big 3 at 3, like the dramatic doom, doom, I used to go like, wow, that is, every time it played, wow, that is really dramatic. I'm trying not to overreact and be too dramatic to what we saw week 1 for the Carolina Panthers, but they're flirting with, like, the dramatics are reality. Every year, the opener just takes all of the optimism that you roll into the season with and all of the moves they made and all of the developments you hope they were able to accomplish, and then the opener happens and it's just like, oh, never mind. The air out of the balloon immediately. 26-10, and it wasn't that close.
Not even near that close.
I'm not sure if you gave the Panthers 3 games worth they were going to score 26 points. The only touchdown they scored came after Bryce Young threw a horrendous pick-6 interception, but luckily Hunter Renfrow on a completely unrelated to the play route was being held, and the entire thing came back. If that doesn't happen, I mean, you could have given them 3 games worth. They weren't going to score 26 points. And the finger pointing goes in every direction. Or the blame pie, everybody gets a slice. However you want to describe it, there's a lot of people that got to look at themselves in really, really critical ways involved with the Carolina Panthers. And do you know what is, like, at one point in time, I actually tweeted it out, and then like an hour later, I was like, you know, that's not even the point I wanted to make. I tweeted out, I really hope the Jags are like the best team in the league this year, because if not, that game's is awful. But an hour later, I was thinking about it, right, because my brain rattles constantly, and I had the thought of, you know what, it doesn't matter if the Jags are good or not, because the mistakes that the Panthers were making were shooting themselves in the foot. The opponent was irrelevant. Right? Whether you're the best defense in the league or the worst defense in the league. When Tetairoa McMillan catches a ball downfield, and that's going to be perhaps a spark for your offense, you can't have your offensive lineman 5 yards downfield, so that big play gets called back. When it doesn't matter if you're the best defense in the world, when Xavier Legette is open moving towards the sideline and Bryce Young throws him a dime, he can't forget that you need to get 2 feet down in bounds and just run out of bounds and make it an incompletion. That had nothing to do with the defense. And then when Bryce Young breaks the pocket, breaks contain, and he decides I'm going to be a runner, he can't trip over himself and then fumble the football. Which, by the way, all 3 of those things happened on one drive. Back to back to back. That's just one snapshot of the ways the Panthers shot themselves in the foot. Those are the things in year 2 with the same coaching staff, in year 3 with your quarterback, in year 2 with your first-round pick wide receiver, Xavier Legette. Like, those things have to go away. Have to. It took like 6 minutes for it all to come tumbling down. I don't think it's dramatic to raise some panic alarms with the Carolina Panthers. Not week 1 overreaction. No, it's a continuation of the entire last decade reaction, not overreaction. But things aren't fixed. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Speaking of are things fixed, the Tar Heels got their first win of the season. Bill Belichick, first career college head coaching victory. 20-3 against the Charlotte 49ers on the road. This is one you celebrate, right? I'm going to quote one of my coaches, right? Winning in college football is hard. You celebrate every victory. After every win, that's what we heard first thing walking into the locker room. Winning is hard in college football. You celebrate every victory, and then we'd go, yeah! And then he would hit you with that being said, early film tomorrow, be ready to run. Like that to me is how Carolina kind of looks at this one. To be quite frank, Carolina didn't do as good a job against Charlotte as App State. So that's what you're being measured against, right? Common opponent. They didn't do as well against Charlotte as App State.
Charlotte left points out there, too.
Charlotte left a lot of points out there. I don't know what it is about Carolina. I'm going to say this over and over again until they tell me it's not true. This year's offense for Carolina, if you could stop games after their first offensive possession, they're the best team in the country. We're looking CFP. But for whatever reason, they blow not just a tire, like 3 tires immediately after the first drive. Gio Lopez throws some kind of a dime on a deep ball down the left side. He's celebrating. Everybody's happy. They come back out for the second offensive possession, and nothing good happens the rest of the day. Nothing good happens the rest of the day. And I know, they scored 13 more points. It was labored. It was hard. It was not fun. And you're right. They on defense, 3 points, you take it, right? No defensive coordinator, defensive mind's ever going to scoff at that. But it could have been worse. And this Carolina team has done nothing to earn the benefit of the doubt, right? So when we're sitting here putting context on it and saying, Connor Harrell, this and that, like if they would have caught it, if this penalty wasn't called, whatever, like when we're doing that, I don't think the Carolina defense, even led by 3 Belichicks, has done enough to look at us and go, yeah, but none of that did happen. If you're a really good defense and teams tend to implode around you, then when they make mistakes that shoot themselves in the foot, you go, you know what, maybe your intimidation had something to do with that. I haven't seen it yet. The issue with the Carolina Tar Heels, even after a win, is I haven't seen anything they do well enough that will scare or intimidate or force adjustments from an ACC opponent.
Yeah. What do you hang your hat on?
What do they do? Sure, you do some things solid enough to beat Charlotte. Did you do anything there that's going to make Clemson to open the season, but not even Clemson, to make Syracuse or Wake or Duke or any of these ACC teams you're going to play, anything to make them go, ooh, we got to change what we do to stop that? I don't see it yet. Maybe it's there, but I don't see it yet. That's number 2. Let's hit number 3.
Number 3.
NC State got a must-win victory against UVA, and that is not to say that it was easy. That is not to say that it was perfect, but when they absolutely had to have it, they got it. Down 10 at half, 14 unanswered points to take the lead. They give the lead back. They get it back. It's a whole back-and-forth game against UVA, who, by the way, I think UVA is better than we were giving them credit for. Eye test, they looked solid. Perhaps NC State had something to do with that, but it was a hard-fought win, and I'm going to focus in on one decision. Throughout the show, we'll go into C.J. Bailey, and Hollywood Smothers looked awesome, and some of the flaws in the defense for NC State will be addressed. But when you, like I did and like many did, after that ECU game, just continuously ask for some killer instinct, continuously ask for sense the moment where you might be able to land a knockout blow and go for it, right? That's the thing that State has been missing. Being on your own 28-yard line with a 4-point lead in the fourth quarter, facing 4th down, and choosing to go for it, and then having your team back up the coach's decision and get it, that was a difference-making decision for me. That was, even though I believe it was on a drive that ended in a punt, right? It didn't even lead to points. It was more time off the clock. It was confidence in everybody. It was a true, we smelled blood and at least swung for the knockout moment. And when you've been clamoring for that, and then Dave Doran makes the decision and his team backs him up on it, I think you gotta point it out. Your offense scored 35 points. Your defense did enough. It's a little bit of a backhanded compliment there. Like, they did just barely enough.
Hey, win's a win, right? I guess.
I mean, they're not all the same, but you don't give any of them back.
No.
UNC doesn't give them back. State doesn't give them back. And shout out to Kean Sloan, right? The defense, he made the interception to end the game. The defense for State has had two absolutely must-have, end-of-game. If it doesn't happen now, you're going to lose the game moments. They forced the fourth down stop in week 1 against ECU. They get the interception against UVA. I mean, if you're only going to have two lights-out moments, those are the two you're going to choose through 2 weeks. They're 2-0. It's a shaky 2-0, but NC State is 2-0. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to dive further into the Carolina win over Charlotte. Because in true Belichick fashion, which is the opposite of old Belichick fashion, the story wasn't the football, it was the other stuff. And that is a shame. Stick around.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Sports can be unpredictable. Your elevator shouldn't be. That's why you need Metro Elevator, Raleigh's hometown team for expert commercial elevator service. Locally owned and operated, we specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
Hands off to Goss. Goss left side of the 10. Goss at the 5. Sprints to the front left corner of the end zone for 6.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC, ready for this? They have a Shakespearean problem. Maybe there's actually a new movie coming out with Christopher Nolan directing, Matt Damon starring, on the Odyssey.
Yeah, I really want to watch that.
Yeah. A Ulysses-style problem for the UNC Tar Heels. I'll explain what that means in a second, because we have to take a moment to give you our Sin City Skate Away keyword of the hour. Starting today at noon, listen every single hour from noon to 6 here on 99.9 The Fan. Each hour, we'll give you a keyword, which I'll do here in a second. We'll give you the number to text it into. And if you do that before the next hour, that is an entry into the Sin City's Skate Away, which you could win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on October 20th. You'll win round-trip airfare for 2. You'll win a 3-night stay at the Park MGM Resort and Casino with a $400 food credit, but you don't want to miss your shot. So, get ready. Right now, I need you to text in the keyword. You have to do it by 4 o'clock when it'll switch over to the next keyword. The keyword for this hour is city. C-I-T-I. City. C-I-T-I. CITI. That's all you have to text in. You don't need any kind of I'm spelling that wrong. CITY.
Yeah.
CITY. I'm a Mets fan. I'm thinking Citi Field.
No.
CITY.
Nope.
All right, everybody that was just texting that in. CITY. That's CITY is the keyword. Thank you, Dennis, for correcting me from a real embarrassing mistake. CITY is the keyword. So go ahead and text that bad boy into 919-860-5326. I do know the number. 919-860-5326. The keyword is city, spelled like a city, like a location, not a bank, like a location. CITY. 919-860-5326 for your chance to win the Sin City Skate Away for this hour. Don't miss your shot at the Ultimate Hockey Getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. You know what's really ironic about that whole intro that just happened? I flexed unnecessarily about how I'm going to talk Shakespeare and I'm going to talk the Odyssey, and then I misspelled city going right into the next read.
By the way, this is text the keyword city. Do not call in.
And say city?
Yeah.
No, text in CITY to 919-860-5326 by 4 o'clock for an entry into the Sin City Skate Away.
A couple of phone lines started lighting up. Got to remind the people.
All right, let's get into it. UNC beat Charlotte 20-3. If you go to the national reaction, which when you hire Bill Belichick, part of what you're hoping for is a national spotlight on your program. Which, by the way, when they play UCF in a couple of weeks, that was just announced, it's going to be a national televised game. That doesn't happen if it's not Bill Belichick, right? You're not playing UCF on the road and getting any kind of premier broadcast rights. So if you look at the national reaction to the win over Charlotte, you're not getting a Belichick defense shows up after a disaster in week 1, holds their opponent to 3 points. You're not getting Chris Culliver, the next big play threat, 70-something yards and a touchdown. You're not getting any of that. You're getting Bill Belichick admits he banned Patriot scouts from the program. After the game, Bill Belichick was asked why Patriot scouts aren't allowed at UNC.
Yeah, well, no, it's clear that I'm not welcome there around their facility, and so they're not welcome at ours. Very simple.
All right, there's 2 ways to take this. One is to look at the facts. And Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the Patriots, actually had a pretty good rebuttal. He was like, well, wasn't he here for Tom Brady's jersey retirement? Matter of fact, I just got the thumbs up. We have the audio. Here's Mike Vrabel talking to the media in reaction to what you just heard from Belichick.
I mean, he came back for, the best of my knowledge, Tom's ceremony, so that I guess he's welcome back based on the fact that he was there. So I'll just go by that. Since his departure as the head coach here, he's been back, and I'll leave it at that.
That audio courtesy of WEI up there in Boston. Pretty good argument. If he's not welcome, why was he here welcomed? But here's where the Shakespearean element of it comes in. Here's what I can't get rattling out of my head. In a Shakespearean tragedy, and I took very few English classes, but I think I remember this conversation in lectures. In Shakespearean tragedies, often the fatal flaw, the thing that dooms the epic hero, is also the thing that brought them the glory, that made them famous, right? The pride, the hubris that ends up doing them in is often also the thing that drove them to greatness. Right, think of Achilles in the Odyssey, or the Iliad, and all of those things with Homer. Right, it's the unbelievable feeling of immortality. You're invincible. That ends up doing you in. For Belichick, I don't think there's a doubt that his competitiveness, his pettiness, his grudge holding is part of the reason he became who he is. Right, he still hates the Jets because of how they dealt with him as an assistant coach wanting to take the Patriots job. There's a world where the only reason he dominated that division the way he did was to get back at the Jets. Drove him maniacally to be the best coach in the world. Drove him maniacally to continue to dominate defensive football in the NFL. But now it could be also the cause of his downfall. His pettiness, his competitiveness, his grudge holding is leading him to ban the Patriot scouts from the organization that he now runs, right? He has to get the last word against the Patriots, but in actuality, he's not hurting the Patriots at all. You don't have a first-round pick on the roster, Coach. You might have a fifth. If you help out your players, showcase themselves, you might have a third. You might have a late day two if things go well. But the Patriots aren't going to be hamstrung by, oh, darn, we won't get as good a look on the day three defensive ends at UNC. You're just hurting the players. And you think you're hurting Robert Kraft. It was week 2. You won a game. After the game, you're in the media, you're being asked about your petty back and forth with the Patriots rather than what'd your defense do, right? Rather than the football. It should always be about the football. And I know he did talk, I mean, it's not like the entire press conference was that one clip we played you, but that's the entire conversation coming out of it. And then the other thing that strikes me is he's yelling at the wrong people. Right? There's regional scouts that are banned from going to practice at UNC. It's not their fault that Robert Kraft and you ended ugly. Right? The GM or even Mike Vrabel, who's one of your guys, he played for you. He's a Patriot Way guy. Like that, they're not the ones that did you dirty on the way out of New England. They aren't. Yet you're making their lives more difficult and hurting your own players in the process. It's like when any of us get mad at like some kind of customer service rep or something. I don't know, you're yelling at the person at the front office or the front desk about something that an overbooking or something, and they're like, I didn't do it. I don't have a room to put you in, and you're screaming at them. It's like that. You need to get like the owner on the phone, Robert Kraft, if you're going to get anything like at the person that you're actually mad at.
Yeah, the server at your restaurant didn't overcook your steak.
Exactly. And they're probably overwhelmed and doing everything they can to help you. He's yelling, he's screaming at people that quite frankly didn't participate in the transgression that he's mad at, that he's mad about. And he's holding a grudge that is going to end up hurting himself. And we've talked about this. If you're a player, and I can vouch for this, Dennis, I'm sure you can as well. Any player at any level, there's enough luxury, or not luxury, there's enough ludicrous, lucky, diamond in the rough stories that even if you're like third string as a junior, you're still thinking, hey, a couple injuries, I'm going to play. I could go to the NFL. Right? Ja'Cory/Bill Krosky Merritt for Washington. Played one game last year at Arizona before being ineligible. He ran for a touchdown in his NFL debut.
Look at Willie Parker was a backup at Carolina. British Brooks, backup at Carolina.
It only takes one. Every single player in college football, even if they don't say it vocally, publicly, because it's a little long shotty and it's a little embarrassing, they're dreaming of playing in the NFL. Would you stick around at the program that is limiting access of the people that can make that dream happen? Or if you have the opportunity to hit the portal, would you consider it? If you're a top recruit and you're looking at the college football world as a 3-year stopgap detour before you go shake up the world in the NFL, are you going to the team that is banning scouts? Now, if you're Bill Belichick, you have to know, because you're a coach, you've been doing it a long time, coaches don't win games by themselves. You need the players. Are you just making it more difficult on yourself to recruit? You think you need a handicap? You need to hold your hand behind your back to make it fair for everybody else? You don't, trust me. UNC beat Charlotte. That should have been the story, and it's not. Because of the petty, grudge-holding back and forth between an NFL team and a college team. Let me correct that. Between an NFL owner and a college coach. It is much more mano-a-mano than it's playing out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. It's a beautiful week. Weather's absolutely outstanding. I love getting on the motorcycle and coming into work or just simply riding around and enjoying the weather as it is right now. And if you are someone that is interested in picking up and riding a motorcycle for the first time, maybe it's something that you think you might like, but you don't want to go all in on buying a bike and then realize you might not like it, or maybe you're hesitant on riding because you're the unsafe nature that it could possibly bring, go take a riding safety course. I actually took one at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson right here in Raleigh and learned all the basic skills of riding a motorcycle and also all the safe ways that you can make sure that you're on a bike and all the safety precautions that it takes to successfully ride a motorcycle when you're out there on the road. And I say successfully ride a motorcycle is keeping two wheels on the ground. That is something that you want to make sure that you understand something that you learn. Or maybe you haven't ridden a motorcycle in a while. You want to get your endorsement again. Go take a riding safety course because it's all about being safe out there on the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. That's why you got to give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks at the Dean's List next, including our first ever withdrawal of a previous Dean's List member. Stick around.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent train dealer. We back exceptional train products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Open Phone. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Open Phone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Snap back to Morris. Flushed out right, locks it in. Intercepted! NC State picks it off in the end zone. There's an interception by Kean Sloan. 62 seconds left. That could seal it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Monday sound off. If you want to sound off on that play you just heard, the game-ending interception from Kean Sloan for the NC State Wolfpack secured a victory against UVA. Less than an hour, 4:15, 4:20 roughly, in the next hour. We will open up the phone lines. You can sound off on whatever you want to sound off. It's called Monday Sound Off. So whatever team, whatever player, whatever decision is grinding your gears, we want to hear about it. The number to call will be 919-860-5326. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline. We'll remind you of the number as we get closer to opening up the phone lines. In the meantime, it is time for the Dean's List. There are a lot. I mean, obviously, we had a full weekend of college football. There's a ton going on. There are a lot of candidates for the Dean's List. None more deserving than former Rollsville High School quarterback Byron Brown.
Yes.
Byron Brown is one win away from becoming everyone's darling this college football season. He might already be, but definitely one win away. He is the quarterback at South Florida, USF. All they've done, like think about what Byron Brown and USF had at the beginning of the year. They looked at their schedule. They had to open the season as a group of 5 team, back-to-back-to-back ranked opponents. They had Boise State, followed by Florida, who was in the top 15, followed by Miami. They smoked Boise, lit them up, won by a bunch, and it wasn't that close. Go into the second game, beat Florida at the Swamp. The Swamp's supposed to be one of the more ridiculous places to play in the SEC. USF went in there. Byron Brown leads the game-winning drive at the end. They kick the field goal. They win the game. And now, on the CW, by the way, they're playing Miami. I don't think the CW expected to have many ranked games when they took like the 5th and 6th best ACC games of the week on their media buy. But this one's a good one. Byron Brown leading the way right there in the middle of it. Pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. Another Dean's Lister. How about this?
Okay.
Biff Poggi.
Oh, the former Charlotte head coach.
Former Charlotte 49ers head football coach. So he came to Charlotte from a offensive analyst assistant job with Michigan, and he went back. That's where he went after Charlotte moved on. Guess who's going to be the acting head coach for the next 2 games for the Michigan Wolverines?
Oh, is it Biff?
It's Biff.
Oh, Biff.
Sharon Moore serving out his game day suspensions for the sign-stealing thing. Will be able to coach during the week, but on game day, he's going to have to bow out and let Biff take over for the Michigan Wolverines.
Can't wait for the burner phone scandal that's going to come from this.
Yeah, it turns out he has like a FM signal into the headset of the coach. I don't know. I'm joking, but who knows? Michigan, right?
I wouldn't put it past anybody. Let's be honest.
But also, it's a big stage to be acting head coach. Memory at least, so shout out to Biff. Do you have some Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here, Dennis?
Vincent Anthony Jr., Duke. Also local to Durham as well. Jordan High School, 2.5 sacks against Illinois. Looked really good, especially in the first half.
We had him on the show last Friday, which was following the win for Duke against Elon on Thursday. And Vince was setting up a community event to raise money and school supplies for different area charities for Saturday. So think about what Vincent Anthony Jr. did in a 9-day span. Gets a sack, gets a win on Thursday, throws a community event. He was the host, did a bunch of good on Saturday, doubles back the next Saturday, has a multi-sack game against the number 11 team in the country. Pretty good little run individually. Obviously, the Duke team wishes that game went a bit different. But for him individually, that's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good Dean's List moment there. How about this one? We'll throw out onto the Dean's List John Mateer. Quarterback Oklahoma. Looked pretty darn good against Michigan. This is just the old, like, it's never gonna leave me, like the under-recruited guy. Mateer coming out of high school, had one FBS offer. He was pretty much on his way to the Ivy League, it appears. And then Washington State at the last second swooped in and offered him. He goes to Washington State, backs up Cam Ward for a couple years, gets 1 year as a starter, leaves for Oklahoma, and then he outduels Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is the exact opposite of everything I just described. He's reportedly in the double-digit millions in NIL as far as multi-year contract. As a freshman, true freshman, number one recruit in the country, was committed to LSU, flipped to Michigan, and he got outdueled by the guy with no stars. Shout out to John Mateer. And also, Bryce Underwood will be fine. He's still super physically gifted. I don't know why Michigan doesn't run him more. We'll see. And now we do have to do our first withdrawal of the Dean's List. Our first, we're going to take that back.
Someone's going to detention?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
We're going to change your grade. The College Sports Commission, which is been tasked with approving or not approving NIL deals. Last week, we put them and some of the players that made the money on the Dean's List because they sent out a data set. This came directly from the College Sports Commission, announcing that they had $79.8 million in approved NIL deals already. 80 million. We were like, 80 million for the players. That's great. Put them on the Dean's List. This was on Thursday they put out that news. Well, on Friday, nice little Friday news dump, they sent a correction saying that it had overstated the value of the deals they had cleared by more than $40 million. The commission blamed a clerical error in data provided by Deloitte, which helped develop the platform called NIL Go. This according to an ESPN article. The most jarring of the errors, the total value of the deals cleared $35.4 million. That is significantly less than the $79.8 million previously announced. The 79.8 is the total amount of all deals in the system, including those that are still pending. Which does tell me a few things. One, that's a pretty big error. Players have gotten roughly $45 million less than what we were told they received in approved NIL deals. But also, you can't just have $40-something million pending. How are people supposed to plan their lives with $40-something million pending? You ever get paid like 2 days late? When you need the money, pending ain't gonna pay the rent. Pending ain't gonna do the things that you need the money to do. Get these players their money. Err on the side of, yeah, that's okay. Send it through. So you're no longer
you get
on
that
the
5-day grace period.
Yeah, exactly.
To pay the rent.
That's the 8th. Some of these guys, some of these ladies, come on. All right, go ahead and dismiss the Dean's List. The College Sports Commission, you're off. And if you want to get back on the Dean's List, I'm like Coach Carter from the movie. We're going to need 1,000 push-ups and 1,500 suicides. We're going to need a lot of work for you to get back in the good graces. Suicide is a conditioning run, by the way, just for those of you that don't know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Your watch, quite frankly, it's an extension of you. So think about when you put on your watch every morning what you want to say about yourself. Do you want to say statement, power, all attention on me? Grab a two-tone pre-owned or vintage Rolex with all of the trappings. Do you want to say, I'm quietly working hard here? Grab something with a chronograph, maybe a Moonwatch, maybe a little Omega Speedmaster, but maybe not even the Moonwatch Professional, maybe a different model, a different movement, right? Something that only you would know, but everybody else would notice, right? Something that you can know. which is part of what a watch is, right? It gives you the power. What's the saying? I don't wear a nice watch to tell the time. I wear a nice watch to tell everybody else my time is valuable. If you want that statement on your wrist, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. It's not just the pre-owned and vintage Rolexes and the Omega, although they're awesome. There's the pre-owned and vintage Cartier. There's the Norcanes. There's the Hamiltons. There's so many Nomos. There's the Glashütte Original. There's it's unbelievable. 50 fathoms. Go ahead and check it all out, and when you're out there, make sure they know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. That was the Dean's List. We have the Podium coming up and a special new edition. We're naming the Podium gold, silver, bronze, off the podium like we normally do, but somebody else will get a gold star. I'll explain next.
Son, do you know what time it is?
Your father and I were waiting all night for you to come home.
I'm sorry. So we could tell you that you're eligible to become a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. Wait, what?
Since your dad's a veteran, our whole family can join and get exclusive savings, discounts, and award-winning service.
Thank you. Now go to your room and think about what we said.
All veterans and their families are eligible. Join today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCAA.
It's game night in Cary. North Carolina FC takes on the El Paso Locomotive FC on Friday, September 12th at First Horizon Stadium at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay cool, stay fierce.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, chili lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is finally here, and the only question remaining is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P. Download your FanDuel app today and get started. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Second down in the full 10 off their own 49. Minsa to throw. Going to keep it himself. Looking to roll to the right now. He will throw at the last second. Barcade's open. Inside the 20. Down the sideline and out of bounds at the 10.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have a special addition to the Podium, but the Podium is special in its own right, so we're going to do the meat and potatoes first, get to the special edition at the end. So let's go ahead and fire up the Podium. This is a 1-week award, right? So it is just what you've done for us lately, although impacts on other weeks can be taken into account. And it is between the 4 ACC schools in the state of North Carolina. One will be off the podium, 1 bronze, 1 silver, 1 gold. During this time of year, it is judged off of football season, and you'll catch on. We'll start with off the podium as we often do. The Duke Blue Devils, off the podium. And if you're watching on YouTube, first of all, what's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? You get a preview of the entire podium over my shoulder. If you're listening on radio, we'll reveal them as we go along. Duke's off the podium for this reason. They got beat pretty darn bad by Illinois on the scoreboard, which is really all that matters, but it gets more frustrating when you realize they didn't really get beat all that bad by Illinois on the football field, which is becoming an issue with Duke. Through 2 games, both games, I know they ended up getting some explosive plays at the end against Elon, so the final score looked fine. They were dominating Elon, and it was a 1-score game very late in the contest. And then against Illinois, I don't want to say they were dominating them, but there were portions of the game where they were significantly outperforming them on the field, yet Illinois was right in the mix, and then when Illinois started playing better, they ran away with it. There's an issue between turning their play into results, which if you can't do that, it's pointless.
I was there. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, they looked good. The talent discrepancy, it wasn't like Illinois was just outclassed them in talent. There really wasn't that big of a difference in terms of talent between the two teams. It's just the red zone turnovers, whether it was in their own red zone, like the Keyshawn Brown dropping the muff punt, or getting into the offensive red zone and turning the ball over there too. They just left so many opportunities out there in the field. You're not going to beat a top 12 team in Illinois giving up 5 turnovers like that. You're just simply not. But the talent's there.
Darren Mensah's 4th in the country, all across the country, college football, or I should say FBS football, in passing yards. And it just doesn't feel like it. It just doesn't feel like the offense is cruising with that kind of production. So they're off the podium. Bronze, Carolina Tar Heels. They got the win 20-3, right? And first win of the Belichick era, did the at least the bare minimum of what they needed to do. I come away very underwhelmed from that game. And you watched it and you were just underwhelmed is I think the best way to put it. Where you're like, all right, even on that scoring drive, if it wasn't the first scoring drive of the game, which they're great on the opening drive. From that point on, though, even the good plays were still felt like that could have been better, or felt like they should have taken advantage of that in a different way. Felt like they were helped by Charlotte. I wanted to see, especially after that TCU game, I wanted to see them do the bigger, faster, stronger thing. Right? I wanted to see them bully. I wanted to see them be out there, take their aggression out. All those jokes that were told about their coach and their coach's girlfriend and their players and their team and everybody that was making the jokes all across the country after the TCU game, I wanted them to be like the water boy out there. Right? Imagining the people, the memes, faces on all of their defense. Like, water sucks. It really, really sucks. Gatorade. Like, I wanted them to imagine that and then take out their aggression on Charlotte. And it turns out they just kind of cordially beat Charlotte in a nice evening game. So they get a bronze. Silver, Wake Forest. Wake Forest, well, I mean, to be real, the opponent not as scary as maybe some of the others that we've had on this podium, but they smoked Western Carolina, and it's really the context that has me put it at silver. Damon Claiborne, their running back, who we've been trying to tell you about, 10 carries, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I'm sorry, 10 carries for 193 yards?
10 carries, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Just 3 touchdowns. Okay.
He finished with touchdown runs of 27, 33, and 85 yards. And you know how I said, the impact on other weeks could be part of this? Damon Claiborne got hurt early in their opener, and then they struggled mightily against Kennesaw State. Damon Claiborne stays healthy in this one. He runs for 193 yards, scores 3 touchdowns. They win by a bunch. It does kind of explain why they were so bad against Kennesaw State in week 1. They have one guy that they've built their offense around. And it is not I always think it's funny when a star gets hurt This is a fantasy football thing. A star gets hurt, and whoever the backup is, they're like, he's in line for that role. I'm like, well, he's not going to be able to play it the same way, right? Oh, Jamar Chase gets hurt. Andre Yoshivas is going to be playing that role. I'm like, not the same way. When Damon Claiborne got hurt, Wake Forest didn't have a guy that could step up and do that because he's the fastest running back in the country. It's pretty tough. So now that he's playing, they looked great. They end up silver. Big game on Thursday, by the way, between Wake Forest and, shall we get to our gold medal? NC State, gold medal. They beat a power conference opponent, technically a non-conference game, although it was against UVA. Politics of college sports explained that one to me. I'm going to focus in on two names this time talking about State. C.J. Bailey, Hollywood Smothers. State may have a couple of dudes on that offense. They spread around the ball to the pass catchers, right? It wasn't as condensed on Wesley Grimes and Teddy Hoffman as it was in week one. They had a whole bunch of different pass catchers, a whole bunch of different guys making plays. But Hollywood Smothers, as a running back, has some giddy up, right? He has the moment where, you know, like a three-point shooter putting the shot up and everybody holds their breath. There's moments where he gets those two steps and you're like, ooh, is this going to be it? And he actually got the edge a few times. He avoided the shoestring tackle a few times against UVA and ended up running for well over 100 yards. And then C.J. Bailey also ran for a couple touchdowns. What was the quote from Hollywood Smothers after the game is perfect. The baby giraffe can run a little bit, talking about his quarterback, C.J. Bailey. And then you go back and watch his 30-yard touchdown run, and you're like, oh, yeah, I get it.
I see what you're saying.
The giraffes, by the way, for those of you that haven't watched all of the nature documentaries, they are surprisingly fast because their strides are so long and they're kind of goofy looking. But when they run, they're up there. Yeah, C.J. Bailey, you're kind of getting it now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is he is spreading the ball around a lot as a passer, which I really like, right? Let the defense tell you where to throw it. Don't force it to anybody. Last year, as many young quarterbacks do, I think C.J. Bailey was like, where's Casey Concepcion? That's the guy. Where's Casey? Hey, I got to throw it to him. Is he covered? Who cares? I'm going to throw it to him. Is he covered? I'm going to throw it to him. This year, very much letting the game come to him. It's a development as a quarterback. With some developments to both, big if, I think both could be NFL futures. That's pretty good for two underclassmen. So there's the traditional podium. Now we're adding something new today. Partially inspired by the caller we got last week, right? Because we do Monday Soundoff, which, by the way, is coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll open up the phone lines for whatever you want to talk about. Stick around. I promise it's coming. But we had a caller last week called in and said, hey, for the podium, what was it? Was it App State they wanted on there? They said, why wasn't App State on there? And we said, well, it's only the 4 ACC schools in the state of North Carolina. We don't really include the group of 5 schools or the lower levels. And he understood, but then we went, but maybe we should. So we're adding, in addition to the podium, off the podium, bronze, silver, gold medals. Those remain the same. At the end, we're going to award a gold star. Workshop it. If gold star sticks, we'll keep it. If we need to rename it, we'll rename it. And it just goes to the group of 5, lower level, right? If we wanted to go all the way to, I don't know, Division III or something, we could.
Hey, I don't hate it.
It just goes to somebody that's not eligible for the podium, a football team that had a particularly good week that we think deserves a little extra gold star. There were some options here this week. We settled, we deliberated, we talked with the judges. ECU gets the gold star. Smoked another eligible team in this category, Campbell, 56-3, which, right, FBS school up against an FCS school, you would expect it, but ECU probably need a little bit of an emotional bounce back, had some pent-up anger and regret or energy from the game against NC State last week. Obviously showed up at Campbell, heads on straight, won 56-3. Again, spread around the ball, bunch of different guys running, bunch of different guys making catches. Caden Hauser had a good day, turned it over to the backups. They had a good day. So ECU and Blake Harrell end up with a big win over Campbell, and they end up with the gold star. Dennis, anything you'd like to add about anybody on the podium or anybody getting a gold star?
In tough contention for the gold star was Elon with their big 55-7 win over Davidson. But we settled on East Carolina, like you said. Big bounce-back win after a close loss against NC State last week.
There you go.
Yeah, you loved all of our schools here in the state.
It did feel like there were a lot of 50-something to single-digit scores this week. Just that was where everybody kind of settled. A lot of 50-something to 9, 50-something to 3, 50-something to 7. There's a lot of it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Podium, one of our favorite segments of the week. We do have the football at 4 coming up next. However, Dennis, do you have something you would like to pass along?
I do. I actually do have something I'd love to pass along. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Speaking of losing, seeing a lot of 30 plus losses this weekend. I actually stepped on the scale this morning, and about just over 5 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, over 30 pounds lost. But this is a good kind of loss, folks. That's right. I've lost over 30 pounds in just over 5 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And folks, if you've struggled with your weight, especially as you start to get older, like I have, it can be frustrating. Even if you feel like you're doing all the right things and nothing seems to work, I get it. I was there. But thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program, their plan, I've been able to lose the weight that I've been trying to get rid of for quite a while. And there's no injections. There's no shots. We're not doing steroids over here. We're not juicing up, no HGH. So none of those ugly side effects that might come along with it. It's just restarting and resetting your metabolism so your body can do the thing it naturally can do, which is burn off fat. And the goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not to just reach a target weight. It's about maintaining that weight as well. So many of these fad diets and programs, you lose a bunch of weight, but then you end up putting a bunch back on, but then you lose a bunch of weight and you put a bunch back on. That's not what Raleigh Weight Loss Center wants to do. They're in it for the long haul. You want to lose the weight, reach the target goal, lose the body fat, and then keep it that way. That's the goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. My clothes fit better. I'm sleeping better. My resting heart rate, all these things have just gotten better simply because of Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you can get in the program as well. Free consultation at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Just visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to football at 4, and in the 4 o'clock hour, not only do we have Monday Soundoff, we want to hear from you. We'll have another key word in the Sin City Skateaway. Don't go anywhere.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Clearing skies out there this afternoon. That sunshine is going to warm us up, but we're still cooler than normal with highs in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Mid-50s tonight, so turning cooler at night, and a nice mild day tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 76.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 114 points to 45,516. Market update brought to you by Allen Tate. Whether you're buying or selling, you want the best real estate agent. Howard Hanna Allen Tate is the Carolina's #1 real estate company for a reason. Call a Howard Hanna Allen Tate agent today. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. We have a Monday Soundoff coming up about 15, 20 minutes. So we'll open up the phone lines for whatever you want to talk about. And assuming many of you are going to want to talk about Bryce Young and react to that Panthers loss in Game 1 against Jacksonville, I thought, well, that gives me about 15 minutes to get my thoughts off before you guys can sound in. I'm going to say this as succinctly as possible. Bryce Young did not play well enough. Is there context to that statement? Yeah, and we can give the context. But in a vacuum, he did not play well enough. That is where you have to start, right? Because eventually you can get to, yeah, but he threw a good ball to Xavier Legette, and he should have caught it, and he didn't get his feet in bounds. It's like, yep, that's true. And Jatavian Sanders could have made a tough catch down the right sideline, and if Hunter Renfrow was somehow impervious to physical pain, he probably could have brought in a couple more catches before getting lit up by the defense immediately after he touched it. Teteroa McMillan could have made a highlight catch on a touchdown, and maybe there was some DPI on that play. Sure. At times, the offensive line wasn't great. Absolutely. Play calling wasn't. We could get into all of it. There's blame to go everywhere. But Bryce Young didn't play well enough. And he's a third-year player, #1 overall pick that has been given a lot of context. We pretty much wrote off, as a fan base, the entirety of his rookie year on some context talk. Yeah, but the offensive line and the receivers and the play callers, and they fired this guy and they moved this guy, and we just looked at a bad year of football and said, all right, we won't hold it against him. And then he played mostly another year of bad football last year, came on late, and we again wrote everything off prior to the hot stretch because of context. Now he comes in this year, and he plays another game where he's not good enough. And again, taking all of that into context, he also fumbled, right? And we can all quote Denzel and Remember the Titans, right? Your blockers were bad. Your blockers don't have anything to do with holding on my football. How many feet are in a mile, Petey? Like, we can do the whole thing. Fumbling is never okay. The interceptions are never okay. And when you have the opportunity, right, despite all those things that went wrong, when everything aligns, he was the weak link a few times. I don't think Dave Canales called a great game as a play caller. But he did scheme up a pretty sweet switch. Little switch fade, had Hunter Renfrow open down the field. If Hunter Renfrow runs, I would say, at least a 4.65 at this point in his career, you put the ball out in front of him, he probably scores. It's underthrown by Bryce. Incompletion. What could have been a big play becomes an incompletion. You're in your third year. How is the operation so sloppy? How are you still taking forever in and out of the huddle? How are you still breaking the huddle with 25 seconds on the clock and somehow having to rush to snap it with 1 second on the clock? And then there's the frustration. There's quite frankly, somebody should have been angry, but it wasn't even like anger. It was like a weird disappointment from Bryce on the sideline. Here's Canales immediately after the game on the frustration from Bryce Young.
The things that we're looking at are fundamental things. Yeah, Jake, I don't want to get too much into the what happened there. I just feel like it was kind of a sideline conversation, but I think you're right. There was frustration really all across the board, just not being able to finish the way we wanted to, and and it really just came down to fundamental football. It was a couple of tackles. We have the run stopped, and the guy kind of pops out for 7, and then hits an explosive, and some of those things. And offensively, certainly it was, I was excited about having a balanced attack today. The run game started off really well, and we just weren't able to complement that and continue the drives, because of the turnovers.
He's frustrated because the offense was looking like trash.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't walking off the field after a touchdown. He was walking off the field after another failed drive. Yeah, he was frustrated. Yeah, he was mad at himself. Yeah, he was probably mad at some teammates. Probably mad at the coaches. Mad at the situation. At a certain point, you have to own up and be a football player. And actually, just during that piece of audio, Dennis jumped in, as we sometimes do. We chat during these little breaks in the action. And Dennis goes, and people are trying to say the interceptions aren't Bryce's fault. And Dave Canales said he's got to see the safety. Right? Do we have that audio?
I don't have that audio,
perfect.
but handy. But he said today that, the first interception, he has to see that safety driving down. He said that's on Bryce. And even the second one, he said he's trying to get it to Dowdle, but threw it in a bad spot where Dowdle couldn't catch it. It got tipped, and give the DB credit for making a great catch.
This is where I think the amount of information that we are made privy to about the NFL is turning our brains into applesauce. It's turning our brains into mush. Did anybody see, I'm talking about, you just watched the game. Did you see the interception that Bryce Young threw? Okay? We're talking about the one where the safety came flying down to make the interception. Okay. Did you see it? Actually see it? And if your first thought was, the wide receiver needs to cut him off. If your first thought was, did he run his route right? If your first thought was, is that where the safety was supposed to be? If your first thought was anything other than the common sense point of, when you're the quarterback and you see a defensive player in position to make the catch, you don't throw it. You're thinking too complicated. You're thinking about separation scores, and you're thinking about route running win percentages. You're thinking too much. There has to be, the most important part of a football player's decision making has to be common sense. Has to be. Do you know what was always a good answer for not throwing something when you go to the sideline talking to your coach? I didn't like it. That's all it needs to be, right? Because sometimes, if it's cover 2, the safety shouldn't be there, right? The linebacker shouldn't be dropping there. You don't throw it because he shouldn't be there if he's there, right? I didn't think the window was big enough to complete the pass, and I didn't want to give the safety a chance. Boil it down to you're playing in the backyard sometimes. I didn't throw the ball to him because I thought the defensive player was going to intercept it. Not, the read told me that I should have thrown it to that guy, so regardless of what I saw, I was going to throw it to him. Complete the pass. Take the check down if you have to. Complete the pass. And that's what the all of it comes down to, right? All of it comes down to it. You have to look at a complete, entire situation and see if you understand what's going on. And some of it, it can't be taught. Knowing when and where you can take chances. Knowing to whom and to whom you cannot throw 50-50 balls. Knowing which running back can catch the hot and high 5-yard pass and which running back you need to take a little something off or not throw it. Knowing on 4th down in the red zone, there is nothing more important than giving your team a chance. It was 4th and 1 at the 5-yard line, and he threw it 10 yards out of bounds. It looked like a throwaway. And I'm only saying it looked like a throwaway because I'm giving him the smallest ounce that it was just the worst throw in the world rather than an intentional throwaway. Maybe he was trying to throw it to Ja'Tavion Sanders and he missed 25 yards left and 10 yards up. That would be the better of the two options, because deciding to throw it out there is awful game management.
Canales said today that, looking back on that play, that which we saw Ja'Tavion Sanders was open, but that he maybe thought that Xavier Legette was going to break to the back pylon as opposed to the front pylon.
He was okay.
That's the reason why he threw it back there, thinking Legette was going to break to that spot.
He was going to break to the back pylon, grow 3.5 feet in height, and also a wingspan of 9 feet,
or hit Ja'Tavion Sanders, who was open.
That would be obviously position A.
There's that too.
That's goal number one.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for goal number one.
Yeah.
I just don't want goal number 112, right? Throwing it away is what you can't do. That's what you absolutely can't do. You have to give your team a chance. He didn't play well enough. You can make excuses, or you can be real with the guy. He didn't play well enough.
And like you said about the operation, even Dave Canales talked about it today as well, about getting to the line of scrimmage. You know, it feels like they're breaking the huddle with 8-9 seconds left, and now they got to rush things at the line of scrimmage. I mean, how many times for year 3 of Bryce Young, he's clapping his hands real fast because the clock's about to hit 0 because he wants a snap, and everything gets rushed. We saw this under Frank Reich. We saw it this rookie year under Frank Reich.
And under Matt Rule, and when Thomas Brown took over, and it's over and over again.
And so, yeah, Frank Reich is first year, then Thomas Brown, it was the same thing. But ironically, sure enough, when Andy Dalton goes in there, this is not like Andy Dalton should start over Bryce Young thing. It's funny how the operation's faster and smoother.
And if you're a quarterback, again, get there early and you learn things. You don't learn anything about the defense in the huddle. You learn a lot once you get everybody spread out.
The number 1 overall pick, you can't get to the line of scrimmage in time? Make it make sense.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Maybe somebody will, because we're about to go open up the phone lines. Matter of fact, we are opening them up. It's time for a Monday Soundoff, so the Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Could be a Soundoff on the Panthers, any of the college teams in the area, or anything else in sports, whatever you want to talk about. 919-860-5326. In the meantime, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Your season, that's your shot. The season, the NFL season that is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. There is a game tonight, everybody, so if you're looking for a touchdown score bet, I like if I don't have a team in the fight and I don't really care about the Bears and the Vikings, I like to look towards tight ends. What about Colston Loveland, the rookie, scoring in his debut, plus 390 anytime touchdown score? That one could be fun, right? Tight ends are always in on the goal line. Lines and odds are subjects to change. That was combining words there. New customers, I have something else for you. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. As I promised, we are opening up the phone lines here on the Drive. 919-860-5326. If you don't get in, that means the lines are full, but keep calling. We're going to do this for a while this hour. So Monday Soundoff, your calls coming up next. Stick around.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
Minnesota and Chicago.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta
Is your heating and air system handling the hot weather okay? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Bryce, eyes downfield, throws, the ball is tipped and intercepted by Jacksonville.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Shout out to the listeners. We opened up the phone line for a Monday sound off, and the lines filled up quickly. So before we get to our callers, and thank you for waiting patiently, I'm going to let everybody else know how you can interact with the show in the meantime. First of all, I'll give you our next keyword in the Sin City Skateaway, which actually started today at noon. And you'll get a keyword today, once an hour, all the way up till 6 o'clock. So you have 2 more keywords coming your way, including the one I'm about to give you. All you have to do is hear the keyword, text it in before the top of the next hour. So for this one, by 5 o'clock. And that will be an additional entry, or your first entry, into the running for the Ultimate Vegas Hockey Trip, the Sin City Skateaway. On Monday, September 22nd, we'll pick one of the entries randomly, and that lucky winner will win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on October 20th, round-trip airfare for 2, a 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino, and $400 in food credits as well. Don't miss your shot at the Ultimate Hockey Getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. The key word for this hour, fly, F-L-Y. That's all you got to send it in. Text it in right now to 919-860-5326. Again, the keyword fly, F-L-Y. Text it in now, 919-860-5326. Also, you can go to our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan. You can comment there some of your sounding off. If you're having a hard time getting through on air, I would suggest to keep calling first. And also there's a poll there on, is Bryce Young a franchise quarterback? You can voice your opinion there with answers. We'll check up on those results later in the show. Now, Monday sound off, everybody. 919-860-5326, Heister Automotive Group hotline. First up, Barry in Selma wants to sound off on Bryce Young. Barry, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Tim, a couple quick things before I get to my question. I'm a Pack fan, and my Vikings play tonight. We don't have a new quarterback, and we got two wide receivers. We had to depend on Adam Thielen. The question about Bryce, you're a quarterback. You saw that play where he threw the ball out of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like to me he might could have run to get the first down. It looked like to me he was throwing the ball away, waiting for the field goal unit to come on, even though it was fourth down. Is that what it looked like to you?
It definitely looked like a throwaway, and thank you very much for the call, Barry. Call back in anytime. It definitely looked like a throwaway to me. I would have taken him running, right? Once you decide to run there on a fourth down, you are committing to giving your body up to get the first, get the touchdown, right? You got to go full John Elway helicopter if you do it. If not, you got to give something high in the air, a 50-50 ball to one of your receivers, or to an open receiver. You could throw a normal pass. But I would have been fine if he ran it. I would have accepted that as a option. Barry and Selma with the call. Thank you very much. Next up on a Monday Sound Off, we have Sean in Virginia. Wants to sound off on the Panthers. Sean, welcome back to the show. The floor is yours.
Hey, I appreciate it. So Barry touched on what I was going to say about Bryce and that 4th and 1 play in the red zone. Personally, it looked to me like he gave up on the play, and I don't think that's acceptable. I think that it's an important year. A lot of people are already out on him. Seeing a guy quit on the play really kind of hurts our confidence even further. I just want to kind of get your thoughts on that. I appreciate you, Tim. Talk to you next week.
Thank you very much, Sean. That's an interesting thought. Appreciate it. I didn't take the throwaway as somebody like defiantly like, oh, this is done. We're never like. I didn't take it as him making like a quitting motion. I took it as him not having awareness. Right, I took it as him thinking the right play there was to throw it away, to prevent a turnover, to prevent whatever. But it would. I mean, if I'm not a body language expert, if someone out there sees that differently, that's interesting. Again, I don't think so because Bryce, all along the way, I do think he cares about winning and trying hard and all of that. I don't think he's somebody that would like actively give up. But that's up for interpretation, I guess, based on how you saw it go. Tom and Fuquay Arena next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline for a Monday Sound Off. More sounding off on Bryce Young. Tom, welcome. Take it away.
Yeah, we got to cut our losses with Bryce. It's time. I've been saying it for a while, but not even to say I told you so, but it's time for the fans and the coaches and the owner to admit their mistake with Bryce, that he's not an NFL quarterback. He was never going to be an NFL quarterback. And we have to cut our losses because building a team around Bryce is never going to work. And I see people blaming other positions, blaming the coach. Well, the coach is only here because he was supposedly a QB guru to help Bryce. That's the whole reason we brought him in. You look at some of our our defense. People have blamed them before. Brian Burns had 2 sacks for the Giants on Jaden Daniels yesterday. We traded him for a couple picks, so we can get Leggett, so we can get Jonathan Brooks and get Bryce more help. And it's just not going to work, man. It's time for people to just admit that they were wrong, and we got to get somebody else in there.
Appreciate the call. That's Tom and Fuquay Arena. What I would say is, even if you're all the way out on Bryce, I think you got to eat the year. I don't think benching him does much for you because if you're out on Bryce, all next offseason is about finding your quarterback, and the thing that helps most there, I hate to be back here already, I'm not there yet, but the thing that helps that the most is a high draft pick, whether it's in trades or whether it's in picking your guy. Interesting, though, like the whole Dave Canales was brought here because he's the quarterback whisperer. Today, speaking to the media, Dave Canales, and this according to Joe Person at The Athletic, says he's been pushing the defensive staff, pushing in quotes, defensive staff to play younger guys, and adds, this is, again, Canales, adds later that he thinks rookie Lathan Ransom, the safety, will get his chances. I get that Dave Canales is a offensive-minded guy and spends his time with the offense mostly. If he wants the younger guys to play on defense, he's the head coach. He should be able to say, younger guys play. It's not like, oh, I've been pushing. Like, no. You're the head coach. Mandate. Command.
Yeah.
Lead.
Say, hey, this guy goes in.
Yeah. I like what you're doing over there. I like the system. These 3 guys play more.
We can dive more into that tomorrow as I pulled that soundbite.
All right. We go to Jared in Durham. Wants to sound off about a different NFL team. Jared, thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Thank you. So I've been a Colts fan, Indianapolis Colts fan my whole life. So I've had a fair share of quarterbacks. And when we signed Daniel Jones in the offseason, I thought it was over. I thought they were just going to clear house after the season. And I'll be the first to say Daniel Jones put my foot in my own mouth. He looked amazing, and I actually feel hopeful for once. I mean, breaking an 11-season week 1 loss streak, it's unbelievable that someone like Daniel Jones, who has had so much hate behind him, actually showed that, hey, maybe he's got a spark here.
All right. Jared, I appreciate the call. Obviously, talk about former Duke quarterback Daniel Jones. There is something to be said for an offense with a bunch of young talent, bringing in a guy that's been through it a few times and be a great traffic cop out there. The only thing, and I'm not saying this to be mean to Danny Dimes, be a little cautious of taking too many victory laps after week 1, right? Who knows where this goes from here. But I'll tell you right now, the Colts and Danny Dimes looked really good week 1. Really. Michael Pittman, there you go. And Tyler Warren, their rookie tight end. Really good. Heathrow Automotive Group hotline open for your calls, 919-860-5326. We go to Rick in Rocky Mount. He wants to sound off on our podium from earlier. Rick, welcome back to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, thank you. And I want to give you kudos for adding the star. I'm the young man who called last week.
Well, you are the inspiration, so thank you for calling in.
And I wanted to say thank you, and I was glad to see the pecking order of the podium today with NC State coming out on top. And I think, and I want your opinion on, do you think the ACC should go to 9 games?
Okay. Great question, Rick. Thank you very much for the call, and obviously thank you for paying such close attention to the podium and agreeing with us, which is a little added nicety. Although you don't have to do that, it's kind of nice when it does happen that way. Should the ACC go to 9 games? I'm a fan of a 9-game conference schedule, especially if the other big conferences are going there. Wish they would have done it on their own. The only thing I would need, and I don't know how you get it, it might just like be like a blood oath, an honor, shake hands, look each other in the eye, which hasn't worked out well. I don't want them replacing good non-conference games with conference games. Have everybody commit to replacing their group of 5 game. Have everybody commit to replacing their game where they play Austin P. Don't replace the games where you're playing another power conference team and you're setting some appointment viewing. That's the only thing I worry about is if you go to another conference game, everybody's going to go, perfect, now we don't have to play anyone in the Big Ten. And I think that hurts your conference more than it helps. Eric in Chapel Hill has a specific part of the Panthers that he wants to sound off on. Whatever you want to sound off on, college football, obviously NFL football, anything in the sports world. We are, what, is it 2 weeks away from the Canes preseason opener?
2 weeks from today.
That's an unbelievable fact. But whatever you want to sound off on, Heathrow Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. If you couldn't get in earlier because the lines were filling up, I believe we have at least a line open right now, 919-860-5326. Eric in Chapel Hill has been waiting patiently. You're up next, Eric. Thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, so basically, run the ball. You just paid Chuba Hubbard all that money last year. Run the ball. I know it was fourth and 1 at halftime. You got all that money. He has 4.3 yards on 10 carries. Bryce Young has 47 yards on 23 passes, 7 completions. That's not hard math for me. Run the ball. That's all I got to say.
All right, I appreciate you. I do want to double check some of those stats. Chuba Hubbard on his rushes had a 3.6 yards per carry average. Bryce Young's per attempt, I believe, was 4.4, which is a hideous average, but obviously it is still more than what Chuba Hubbard was able to garner on the ground. I don't think it should be overlooked that Ike Ekwonu wasn't playing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of the things that we might get on him about in pass blocking, he is a pretty mauling run blocker.
Fantastic run blocker.
And he wasn't there. So the run game, outside of a couple scrambles by Bryce, didn't really get cranking. And then you're behind multiple scores, and you kind of have to throw to get back into it.
But you're down 20-3 at halftime.
I thought very early on they could have stayed a little bit more committed to the run, but there's a lot. As far as like the play calling issues I think there were other things of greater complaint than they didn't stick with the running game after they were down 2 and 3 scores later in the game.
So tired of the screen. When's the last time the Panthers ran a successful screenplay? Like a wide receiver screen. I feel like we see it a lot from Dave Canales.
You mean calling
calling wide receiver screens. Like, when's the last time we saw a successful wide receiver screen for this team?
Part of the thing is you got to complete some downfield balls, or else those secondary just come further and further up, and it's harder and harder to hit a screen.
Yeah, well, if it ain't working, why are you doing it?
The complementary everything weren't complementing each other with the offensive play calling. And we can dive into that further as the week goes on with some real nerdy stuff. Pat in Durham wants to sound off on both the Wolfpack and the NFL, so we'll hear a couple of them. Pat in Durham, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Looking forward to what you have to say.
First off, I'm just curious how bad Appalachian State beat Charlotte, if y'all know that. And secondly, the Wolfpack, it seems like every time they go to Wake Forest comes over with some kind of kryptonite. They just have the toughest time playing there. So just because Wake Forest didn't having a great year, I wouldn't start, counting my chickens before they started hatching. And also and by the way, they do have kryptonite. Allen for Buffalo needs to stay away from there. The way he plays. Oh my gosh, what a game! Also on the NFL, if you think that practice doesn't matter, because I'm a Washington fan, I was watching the game, and Deebo Samuels was the wide receiver that caught the ball because he's the one that the quarterback was throwing to, Jaden Daniels. And just for everybody out there that had a bad decision and having a bad day, at least you're not the woman in Philadelphia.
Talk about the one that stole the baseball from the kid.
Oh, my gosh. How'd you like to be her going into work?
I appreciate the call, Pat. Lot to respond to there, so I'll try to take it one by one. 34-11 was the final score for App State over Charlotte. So that goes for your first. That was week 1 of the season. Second, trust me, you do not have to remind NC State that going to Wake Forest is nothing to be overlooked. Particularly, I should say, when Taylor, the running back for UVA, broke a couple long runs against NC State, and Wake Forest has DeMond Claiborne. They know what they're going up against, and if Wake Forest does give State a game or beat State, it will not be because there was any overlooking going on. State knows and has to know what they're getting into. Last night was bananas. Let's just call it what it is. Josh Allen is awesome, but let's also not forget, Josh Allen does not win that game if Keon Coleman doesn't come up with a 4th down, tipped catch, touchdown to keep the game alive. If Derrick Henry doesn't fumble in a situation where, more important than anything, it's don't fumble, right? It has nothing to do with gaining yards. Just don't fumble. And then also the Ravens didn't go for it on 4th down when I thought they should have, rather than give it to Josh Allen. But hey, that game was bananas, and it was entertaining. And it doesn't impact either of them. And then lastly, yes, that woman that took the ball from the home run ball from the kid, definitely she's upset with the way her life has changed in the last week. Let's go to Robert in Raleigh next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Wants to sound off on Syracuse UConn. I hope this is about the post-game stuff. Robert, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah. I have a problem with this. I'm wondering, do you have a problem with a coach that wins a football game, and then isn't it a slap in the face to the opponent if you win the game and then they make you run laps?
So Fred, let me give everybody a little background, then I'll let you ask your question. Sorry to interrupt you. Syracuse beat UConn in overtime, but it was an ugly win. They did some real poor clock management, gave up the tie, and early on they were getting beat. And Fran Brown, the coach of Syracuse, kept the players on the field after the game to run sprints in full view of everybody leaving the arena. Media obviously got video of it. That is the baseline for this call. Now, Robert, what is your question about it?
I have a problem with it. I think it's a slap in the face to the opponent to win the game and then make the team run laps.
Okay. I will.
And I'm gonna hang up and listen to your response.
Thank you very much for the call. I think it's a slap in the face to your own team. You don't have to embarrass your team like that. There's a whole week for you to get your point across that the way they played wasn't good enough. That's it comes across as me. Everybody, look how awesome I am coaching. Where you want everybody to see you dramatically doing it. And I've liked some of the stuff Fran Brown has done at Syracuse. Not a fan of that particular move. Andrew in Raleigh next up wants to sound off on the Titans head coach. How about that? A little Tennessee sounding off. Andrew, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
All right, thanks, Tim. So I don't know if anybody happened to watch the Tennessee Titans game, but Brian Callahan is absolutely afraid to call plays that are going to get his team down the field. But I was curious if you happened to catch, he didn't challenge Elick Eomanor, catching the ball on the sideline, got an elbow in, no feet. He had the rule completely incorrect. He thought that you needed to have a foot and an elbow in. So I guess out of my curiosity, at what point do you think he begins to lose the locker room after terrible play calling, an abysmal season last year, and then just simply not knowing the rules? And to top it all off, Cam Ward is the truth.
All right. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the sound off. It's really hard to know when a guy will, quote, lose the locker room without being in the locker room. You don't know how he reacts when others make mistakes. You don't know if he's pompous about it. You don't know. What I will say is, by all reports, and I haven't grinded the tape of Cam Ward. It does sound like he had a good day. But I haven't watched all the clips. It goes back to what I've been saying a long time. You just need a person who is in your ear, direct bat phone, right to the head coach's headset, knows all the rules, knows when to call timeouts, knows how long you can have on the clock and take knees versus on how many the opposing team's timeouts are. Like the coach can't not know that an elbow is 2 feet. Somebody should be in his ear going, challenge, challenge, challenge. And he has to trust that person implicitly. It's ridiculous that you don't know the rules. David in Raleigh, we have a Canes caller. First of the, should we call it of the season? It's this season, right? First of the season for a Monday sound off. David, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Just some real preseason Hurricanes goalie anxiety, I would call it. We had a half season of Freddie last year, and I think going into the playoffs he was somewhat fresh, but we were all expecting, I think, PK to show up the last 5 or 10 games or so and kind of take that bull by the horns, but he never really did. What can we expect this season? Is there going to be inconsistency with the both of them? Is it going to be our talking point for a better part of the season? What can we expect here?
All right. Thank you very much for the call, David. It will be a talking point for a good part of this season. We still, I'm not eliminating the possibility that Kochetkov levels up and plays really well. Obviously, if Freddie can catch fire, and he was really, really good at times in the postseason. The problem with the goalies, and I'm somebody that acknowledges there's probably work to be done there on the roster, there's not a lot of options out there. Like, what were they supposed to do on the offseason where it wouldn't be a concern coming into the year? They have cap space, they have prospects, they have a call into every team, I'm sure. But yes, I mean, the anxiety is real, and I get why you would be anxiety-ridden about that going into the season. All you have to hope is that those two guys can hold up. We have two more here. We'll take them quickly. Lewis in Raleigh wants to sound off on the Panthers. Lewis, thank you for calling. Thank you for waiting as quickly as you can, if you can. What do you want to sound off on?
I feel Canales needs to work on the professionalism of the team. 2 plays when Leggett had a catch at the sideline and then got his toe out of bounds. That was an easy catch that any professional receiver should have been able to get their feet in bounds. And then Horn makes this fantastic catch on the interception, but then he's motioning everybody to come to the end zone and celebrate when they're down 17 points with only 1 quarter to go barely. is the professionalism of the team. They don't come in with the hard hat, the punch in, the lock in, and I feel the Canales needs to jump on that to get the maturity level up on the team.
I appreciate the call. A lot to get to there. I don't blame the coaches for not having Xavier Lee get his foot down. These are professional athletes. Like, he gets paid a lot of money to be a wide receiver. You work with him on how you want the route run. You work with him on knowing the offense. You work with him on a lot. You got to be a pro. You got to know the rules, and you got to execute. Those, like, there's not enough time in the day at practice to go over with pros. Hey, on the sideline, we need to have 2 feet inbounds if possible. As far as celebrating, I'm 50-50 on it. Part of me says J.C. Horn works hard as heck, and he might only have 1 interception in his career. That impressive with the one hand and all that. And I don't want him to not be able to celebrate it. I want him to be rewarded for his work. I want him to have fun. But I also understand you're down 17 and celebrating sometimes can be a little weird. So I'm not answering that question at all. I'm just riding the fence and moving on because we're up against it. Vince and Raleigh, last caller for a Monday sound off. Go ahead and sound off on the Wolfpack.
Hey, Tim, thanks for taking my call. I wanted to talk a little bit about the running game, both the defense and the offense.
Okay.
Before the game, I was talking with my neighbor. He and his family have several alums from the Pack, and he said, I'm really worried about our run blocking. And I said, less worried about. I said, I'm really confident about it. I told him, I'm really confident in our run defense. Well, we were both wrong.
Yep.
Our run blocking turned out to be fine, but the run defense was hilarious. We went from 30 yards the previous week against ECU to 257 yards they gave up this week. So we have a new defensive coordinator, Mr. Elliott, and I have to inform him there's such a concept as the contain man. 4 of those rushes, the rusher was literally 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and went untouched for a total of 160 yards. Where is the containment? I mean, it's not like they broke through to the defensive backfield and broke a tackle. 2 yards, they turned the corner. They didn't go all the way to the corner. It was sort of off tackle, 2 yards deep in the backfield, and they were gone. No containment. I don't know if that's the linebacker or if that's the safeties and the cornerbacks, but that has to change now because this week is Wake Forest. If we could stop the run, I think we beat Wake Forest. If we let 4 enormous runs, that was just 4. They had many other long runs.
I appreciate the call. So we're up against commercial here, so I got to let you go. Thank you very much. I think there were some assignment miscues on that defense. Linebackers, trust me, there's the DJ Elliott isn't drawing up plays where there's nobody manning the edge, right? If there's no defense in football where it's like, yeah, and you know what? We completely let them get the edge. So it's there. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, set the edge. And you have to fight for it, you have to work at it, and you got to be on your game. And execution could be an issue there as much as play calling can be an issue there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And, of course, that includes Gordon Miller. And he texted me not long ago. Guess what? Rates are now at the low for the year, over a point below where they were in January. So hopefully you listened to us when we told you don't buy down rates, right? When they were a little bit higher, don't pay $10,000, $15,000 to get a 6.5 interest rate when – could be there in a few months, like it might be right now. So here's my follow-up, right? All those months ago when I told you, lock in your rate now with a no closing cost loan. That way, if and when rates drop in the future, you can refinance and lock in that lower rate again with no costs, no fees, no closing costs of any kind, no cash out of your pocket. You just get the lower rate. Well, if you listened to me then, now you'd be cashing in, right? You'd be getting that refi. You'd be getting the lower rate. Matter of fact, if you locked in a rate at the peak of the market, you may want to be calling Miller Lending right now. And also, if you didn't do it then, you didn't take our advice then, maybe you will now. Call Miller Lending, get a no closing cost loan, giving you the flexibility without spending all the cash to take advantage of a volatile market if rates drop once again. The number to call is 919-447-3377. And if rates go up, you locked in the rate, right? That's the beauty. Yours doesn't go up. 919-447-3377 or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. Up next, winners and losers here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
Normally, you want to take back all the bad things you say about a team, but I want to pull back all the good things I said about the Panthers leading into Sunday's ugly fail in Jacksonville. Nothing got fixed in the offseason or in training camp. Defense can't stop the run. Offense remains erratic. Check those return policies, kids. Keep the tags on those uniforms you bought less than 30 days ago.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $78 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.76 to 4.98. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, Greater Triangle area, Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a 4-count chicken minis on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, September 8th through 12th, to get your reward for a 4-count chicken minis by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from open to 10:30 a.m. Offers subject to availability. Rewards are single-use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A One account. See further details in the app.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take a boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
The Lumineers. The Automatic World Tour, September 16th at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. With special guest, Chance Pena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. The Lumineers. Pick up their new album, Automatic, out now.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
It's huge. Like I said, we want to stay on schedule and complete balls. I don't remember what his stats. 22 of 29 for 272 and a touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, he played good ball. We got to continue that every week. It's 1 week at a time, but that's the preparation he puts in. He was ready to roll, and guys went out there and made plays for him.
Was thinking you were gonna stay here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's Shane Steichen, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Could be a Easter egg for somebody who might be a winner for Dennis. Dennis picks the rejoin sounds, and he also gets to name a couple winners and losers. Because right now it is winners and losers time. This is very simple. Who won and who lost the last week?
This team will never lose again.
Who won and who lost the last week? More vibes than score. Obviously, if you win on the scoreboard, that helps. But you need to be a winner, right? Is what we're looking for. Dennis, since I've probably teased and ruined one of your picks, who you got as a winner?
Daniel Jones, a guy that was left for dead out there in New York. I think he kind of asked to get moved on from last year when he got benched. He's like, why don't you guys just go ahead and cut me? Even though it cost him money, he's like, let me just go ahead and get out of here. And then to win the job in Indianapolis and put up that heck of a first game, props Daniel Jones, man, winner for sure.
Winner, won the week. Do you have a loser?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Let's hear it.
Buffalo Bills fans. All the 25,000 or so that left the stadium yesterday before the game was over. Losers, get out of here.
You know what? The winners and liars, because you know what all those Bills fans are going to be?
Oh, I was in the building.
Yeah, I didn't leave.
I was totally there.
It was crazy. I watched everyone else leave. I was sitting there in the section by myself.
Yeah, where's you have a picture of that? No, man, my phone died.
Everybody left except me. I didn't see anybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's no witnesses. Josh Allen called him out, too, after the game. He was like, you got to keep the faith.
I know, for real, man. You got an MVP quarterback. Let's go. By the way, winners, fans watching that game. Just football fans watching that game. Winners, all of us.
Entertainment. I mean, the crazy part is, like, for the Ravens, it means nothing. I still think they're a playoff team. Lamar's still an MVP candidate. Buffalo's still a playoff team. Josh Allen's still an MVP candidate. All it was super entertaining for us. It was just like a show. Might as well be watching fireworks. Ooh. Ah. Oh. That was probably the finale. Oh, no, this is the finale. Like, that's how the game went. Winner. This might be a backhanded compliment, but I'm rolling with it. Winner, Jalen Coker.
Yo.
That guy's job is waiting for him with a seat warmer on when he gets healthy. Just sitting there, lovely. You know, it's sometimes when you get hurt, you're worried, right? What if the offense is cranking and when I come back, they don't want to throw off the rhythm and they don't. Nope. There will be reps at wide receiver for Jalen Coker the moment he's eligible to come off IR if he is healthy enough. So that's a winner. Loser. How about, speaking of the fans at that Sunday Night Football game, how about the fan that hit DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson and then got pushed and sat right back down by Lamar? I'm all for chatter. I'm all for heckling. I'm all for a good trash talk. You can't make the physical. You can't touch, right? No hands. You can't hit players. And I actually, you never condone a player making contact with a fan, but it was kind of funny watching Lamar immediately. Boop, boop. All right, you're dealt with.
I have no problem with what Lamar did. Zero problem with it.
The only reason I have a problem with it is you don't want the fan to then feel entitled to retaliate back, and now you got a bigger deal going on. It worked because it was like fan's a dummy, Lamar, and it's over. If it were fan's a dummy, Lamar, now the fan's a bigger dummy, it becomes a much bigger deal.
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Yeah, but Lamar can't finish it if the guy responds. Like, Lamar can't settle into a stance and hit him with like a three-piece. Like, he basically had one chance to end it, and he did, luckily. But if it would have kept going, it would have been an issue. Winner. Kean Sloan, NC State.
Yeah, made the interception when you needed it.
Big dude running with a running back. That's a real oh no, yes moment, right? He's essentially an edge rusher on the play, like a defensive end. Running back takes off, and he knows, all right, my responsibility is do my best to keep up with this guy, hoofing it, right? That's a shot put thrower keeping up with the sprinter. And then he turned around and made the interception. Ended the game like he's a defensive back. Got his head around. It's a great play. A few others here. What direction do we want to go? Oh, loser. I don't know if everybody else saw this. It's all over media blogs. Ryan Clark. He called out Peter Schrager for not being a former player. Called one of his takes, that's the non-player in you. And Peter Schrager of ESPN is pretty well respected as a knowledgeable and well-researched journalist. And on air, Ryan Clark basically did the you didn't play, you can't talk to me. And then
had the dirt guy.
Then had to apologize on Twitter and said he apologized to the higher-ups at ESPN and Schrager. And it's really frustrating for me. Not because, whatever, I didn't play in the NFL and I talk about the NFL, but because where's the cutoff? Like, can Ryan Clark not talk to Hall of Famers? Because they're like, you never played high, Like, I wish, like Orlovsky was at the podium or at the desk. He's allowed to talk. He was a backup for a bunch of years. If you played one play of one down in the NFL, your opinion's valid, Ryan Clark? It's just such a dumb argument. Also, you know who never played in the NFL? Sean McVay. Like Andy Reid. Do their opinions matter? Yeah.
Belichick didn't play in the NFL.
Belichick's like a mediocre middle college long snapper? Like, I'm pretty sure.
I think he played lacrosse too.
I don't know. It's when you don't, when you, it is very obvious you are losing an argument, you insult the other arguer. That probably meant Schrager was getting the better of him. It was a dumb argument they were having, by the way. I'm not even going to entertain what the argument they were having is. That's it for winners and losers.
I got one final loser here.
Go for it.
Loser, Ejiro Evero's defense in Carolina. This actually comes from Mike K. I know he does talk about a journalist that does research. Mike K., Charlotte Observer, said, over the past 18 games, so this is the Dave Canales era, the Panthers' defense has allowed 200 or more rushing yards 9 times, including in 7 consecutive games. In 35 games as defensive coordinator from 2023 up until this present year, Ejiro Evero's run defense has given up 120 yards rushing or more 26 times. So 26 out of 35 games under Ejiro Evero's defense in Carolina, they've given up 120 or more yards in 26 of 35, including 200 plus in 9 of the last 18.
That's another one where we could do context. We could add things in. We could, or you can just say it's not good enough.
It's not good enough. Hey, let's not forget that 2 years ago when he had Brian Burns and Frankie Luvu and Derek Brown, they were still getting run on.
Like, we could bring up, well, last year you didn't have Derek Brown, and that's going to, we could set up, well, when you're behind by multiple scores, the other team's always running. Or you could say, let's use a little common sense here, and if an overwhelming amount of the time you're getting absolutely run roughshod over, defense probably isn't doing well enough, and the defensive coordinator has to answer for that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is really one of those things where it's like if you're responsible for the results and the results aren't good, that's not us being negative. That's the results not being good. You know what I mean? Like, you don't gain anything by looking at a blue sky and calling it purple. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. When the results are good, you attribute them to the coordinator, right? If there's a good defense, you go, that must have a good defensive coordinator. When the work is good, you look at Maynard Service Company, you say, that must be a good company. And I can tell you this, the work they'll do on your heating system, your cooling system, we're talking HVAC, your plumbing in your house, your electrical work, well, the results are good, and that stems from a well-run organization, starting at the top with their owner, Brett, all the way on down to their highly trained technicians. It's a well-run program that leads to the proper results, and that's the type of a company you want to welcome into your home when you need something fixed. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, or even just a little maintenance, right? We know what happens this time of year, football season. Chillier temperatures. Might start cranking up the heater a little bit more. If you want to get it looked at, you want to make sure it's running properly ahead of all of that use, call Maynard Service Company. Here's the number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. You can also visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, the starting 5 right here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, you'll find the same family-owned real estate company you've trusted since 1957. But now they're bigger, better, brighter. They have more agents and more resources, which means more exposure to sell your home. Their proven expertise and innovative tools will help you find the right home around the corner or across the globe. And they invest in our local communities. Their promise to you is a homeownership experience that is different from all others. Visit howardhannatate.com to get started.
The Adam Gold Show.
Even with Clemson's loss, even as North Carolina looked like death warmed over, it was a pretty good week for the ACC. Hey, maybe LSU is that good, and Clemson is still a national player. Miami looked the part. Florida State looked the part. If Louisville, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech can be good, who knows?
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. In just over 5 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I'm down over 30 pounds. That's right, over 30 pounds lost, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And here's the thing I love about the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program. Their goal is not just for you to reach a target weight. It's to reach the target weight, but also maintain that weight as well. You're not doing any injections, no shots, no HGH or steroids. It's just resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way you lose the weight in a natural way, but most importantly, keep that weight off. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com for your free consultation today. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506 is the number to call, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Get on that journey today. Results may vary.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Definitely a taste of fall out there this afternoon. It'll be a comfortably cool evening, chilly overnight with a low at 55. Tomorrow it's morning sunshine, partly cloudy and breezy in the afternoon. The high 76, 78 Wednesday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today at the closing bell up 114 points to 45,514.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm going to give you the keyword to the Sin City Skateaway for this hour right at the top. So you have the full hour, just in case you're driving, the full hour to text it in. So get somewhere safe if you're going to text it in. Remember it if you're going to wait till you get home. But the keyword for the Sin City Skateaway will come after I tell you what the prize is. Hockey fans, get ready for the Sin City Skateaway. Today, this is your last keyword of the day, but then tomorrow from noon to 6, you will once again have an opportunity each hour. Before today, your last keyword is about to come up. I'm going to tell you the keyword. You have to text it in, and then you're in the running, an additional entry every hour, for the Ultimate Hockey Vegas trip. On Monday, September 22nd, we will pick one lucky winner. That person will win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on October 20th. Round-trip airfare for two and a 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino, as well as $400 in food credits. That is a bananas prize. And you might win, but you increase your chances every time you text in a keyword. So for this hour, the keyword is skate. S-K-A-T-E. Skate. Text it in now to 919-860-5326. Just the keyword. Don't have to say anything else. Skate. S-K-A-T-E. To 919-860-5326. 5326, and you will have this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. All of this brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. Now let's get to the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So last night was pretty crazy, huh? Sunday Night Football, little Bills-Ravens action. Scoregami, by the way. For those of you that don't know what a scoregami is, I don't know who created it, but for whatever reason, it goes viral every time. The final score in Sunday Night Football between the Bills and the Ravens was 41 for the Bills, 40 for the Ravens. In the history of the NFL, no game has ever ended with that score, which is a nice kind of indicator of what kind of game that was. It was one of a kind, absolutely unique. If I were a Ravens offensive lineman, that's probably why I would never be an offensive lineman. Occasionally, I would just intentionally miss a block just to see what Lamar's going to do. I know it wasn't intentional, but what is it? Fa'alele, one of their guards, completely missed a block. And Lamar Jackson turned on the video game thing, ran backwards for a little bit, deked one way, wraps around the other way, ends up running for 19 yards and a first down. Josh Allen, video game stuff, scrambling around, dots thrown, touchdown scored. The only complaint about that game I have, why was it week 1? I kind of want that game to be week 10 when these teams are, amongst the best in the AFC, and you feel like you could put the MVP trophy at midfield and say, go win it. Like it was too early. The stakes weren't high enough. Tonight, for the final, the cherry on top of the week 1 NFL Sunday, Vikings-Bears. J.J. McCarthy making his introductory to the world as the starting quarterback for the Vikings. Bears, Ben Johnson, can you save Caleb Williams? There's been some real hit pieces written, articles written about Caleb Williams recently. He's going to look to disprove the haters. Since we won't be getting to the picks later, Dennis, who you got? Vikings, Bears.
Yeah, Vikings.
Vikings are a 1.5 favorite.
I'll take the Vikings on the road in Chicago, which, by the way, you can listen to that game right here on 99.9 The Fan tonight.
Total 43.5. I like the over there.
Yeah, I like the over on that one, too.
That feels like they're baiting me into something. What do they know that I don't know? I'll take the Bears just to be fun. I don't know. A home dog. Kind of love it.
That is actually interesting.
That is, by the way, I will not be putting my actual own money on that, so don't tail me and then get mad if it's wrong and go, you didn't even bet on it. I'm not betting on it.
Yeah, that's on you.
I tell you when I put my real money on bets, and then if you lose, I lose, we lose together, we can complain and commiserate. I don't like you losing your money on my recommendation if I didn't lose my own money. So just know I'm not betting it, but I'll take the Bears. That's number 5 in the starting 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together. What?
Duke on the final score got smoked by Illinois. Who, by the way, Illinois is now a top 10 team in the country. They bumped up from 11th to 8th or 9th, something like that. Duke has a really, really unique challenge to overcome through 2 games. The challenge is turning their good play into points. And if you can't do that, that is a fatal flaw, right? Like, they have to turn, when you watch a quarter of football, if we got rid of the score bug, if this was like back in the day and they didn't constantly have the score and the down and distance and the time remaining on the bottom of the screen, if you just watched a quarter of Duke football, there's a good chance you're going to guess that they're winning. And then someone will go, oh, no, actually, they're down 12. And it's like, what? How? Oh, no, they're down 15, 20, 30. So how? No, I'm watching the game. They're playing better. It's like, yeah, but it's not transitioning to points. I was thinking long and hard about the way to tell this as an analogy, Dennis, and you know what I came up with? It's a big Duke right now playing football is a big bowl of pasta. Okay?
Go on.
You got a big group of people, right? You order a big bowl of pasta, and you're talking and you're eating, and you're listening to stories and you're eating, and maybe there's a little live music in the corner. You're watching, you're listening, and you're eating, and eventually you feel like You've shoveled so much pasta into your face, right? You're full. Your stomach hurts. And you look down, and it looks like you didn't make a dent, right? Because pasta kind of falls within itself. It's not like a pizza where like I ate 5 slices and there's 3 more. Like it still looks like a full meal. That's Duke. They throw for 350 yards a game. They're moving up and down the field, right? They're making plays. They're doing good things. They're scheming up open receivers. They're getting first downs. Jaquez Moore is making a few guys miss, and you're like, all right, we must be up by 15 now. You look down, and you're down 20. How did this happen? I did so much good. I did so much work. Well, you got a lot more work to do. Better get a doggy bag. It's a weird issue. Darian Mensah right now is 4th in the country in passing yards. 4th. 3rd in amongst the power conferences. And he's doing so on way fewer attempts. Like, way fewer attempts. I want to go ahead and bring this up for you real quick. Like, the efficiency is crazy. Maverick MacGyver at Western Kentucky leads the country in passing yards. 120 attempts. Baylor's quarterback, 2nd, 98 attempts. Kansas State's quarterback's 3rd, I believe he has an extra game. 98 attempts. Darian Mensah, 4th, 68 attempts. 68 attempts. But it needs to transition to actual wins. And I mean, against Illinois, it was obvious, right? How do you have really good production and not score? Turn the ball over. You lose the turnover battle like that, you're going to have a hard time winning against anybody. So really, all Duke needs to do is find a way to, like, they drive it 99 yards and don't get in the end zone. Like, you got to find a way to get or 98 yards, right? Can't go 99. That's the last thing you're looking for. Very frustrating to watch that game if you're a Duke fan. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. NC State wins.
Snap back to Morris. Flushed out right, lofts it, end zone, intercepted! Intercepted! NC State picks it off in the end zone. There's an interception by Kean Sloan. 62 seconds left. That could seal it.
And that's how they did it. That was the sealing play in the win over UVA. I'll tell you what. They've got a lot of experience in close games. They play ECU, despite the fact that they dominated early. It came down to a one-possession game, and they had the ball looking to score. Against UVA, despite the fact that they were kind of getting dominated early, right? Down 10 at half. It comes down to a one-possession game. UVA has the ball down at the end, and the defense comes up with the play. There's a lot to like about what State did on Saturday. There's also enough to be concerned about that needs to be fixed. Jamari Taylor, 150 yards rushing for UVA, couple of big runs. Those things need to be addressed. The run defense for NC State, after looking very good against ECU, did not look very good against UVA. So some corrections need to take place. Chandler Morris as a running quarterback, which isn't necessarily his bag, but, I mean, made some things happen at a 42-yard run. So I guess I'll put it this way. It's very obvious that the growing pains for changing coordinators appear to be hitting NC State on defense more than on offense. And they're going to have to get through those growing pains, sooner rather than later. Because they do play Wake Forest this weekend, or not even this weekend, on Thursday. Short week on the road. And if you struggled with Jamari Taylor, the running back from UVA, who, by the way, was at NC Central last year, Damon Claiborne is waiting, right? And trust me, whatever concepts in the run game were giving you fits against UVA, Jake Dickert and that Wake Forest coaching staff are going to find those concepts and give it to Damon Claiborne in similar moments. And when he breaks into the open, it's not get as many yards as you can before you get caught from behind. It's see ya, right? He's got that kind of speed. Short week, not a lot of time to fix it, but they have to. The good news is the offense. I'm a big fan of CJ Bailey, man. And
Hollywood Smothers look great.
Hollywood Smothers looked really gosh darn good. And by the way, he didn't this was not he looked so much better than he did against ECU. The eye test against ECU said he's got a lot of stuff to him. And he was just 1 inch away a few times from letting that shine. Or even he did let it shine and then he got called back on penalty. There are things like that. I think Kurt Roper, their offensive coordinator, should spend 6 hours a week just drawing up creative ways to get the ball to Hollywood Smothers in space. Passes, screen passes, unique motions out of the backfield, whatever it takes. Because once he gets in space, like I said, he's got something to him. And C.J. Bailey, just good decisions. Right, I was a fan of his decision making. I was a fan of his distributing of the football. And then one more shout out, Will Wilson. Right, they get the young quarterback out there with all the running prowess on a couple of fourth downs. Little quarterback run package. He picks them both up, including a very big fourth down in the fourth quarter. So he ends up with 2 carries for 6 yards, but an important 6 yards. And we'll get to Dave Doran in about a half hour here to close out the show. I think there's an interesting conversation about the way he handled the game against UVA. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Deep drop.
There we go.
Deep throw.
Down.
Left side. Touchdown, Carolina. Chris Culliver brings it in. 3 plays, 75 yards.
UNC beat Charlotte. UNC Tar Heels beat the Charlotte 49ers to get the first win of the Bill Belichick era, right? So now you have that metaphorical weight off the shoulders, right? You broke the seal. Now you can go win them all, right? Right? Come on, right? Now, here's...
I mean, let's be honest. Did North Carolina really answer any questions that we had after that first game against TCU?
No. I mean, first of all, the short answer is no.
Yeah.
The second answer is they may have opened up some more questions or confirmed some questions. It's like a weird phenomenon that they can be so good on the opening series as an offense, and then it just the wind goes out of their sails so aggressively. Mm-hmm. And even against Charlotte, where they were able to put up some more points and move the ball a little bit, it went from their opening drives are so easy. It's effortless. The ball is just gliding down the field into the end zone, and that's the same against TCU. And then after that, everything is labored. Everything is hard. Every yard is like it's like the football goes from a football to a medicine ball, and you're running around carrying like a 50-pound weight rather than just gliding. And the frustrating part about it is, those opening series prove you got the dudes. Jordan Shipp can make catches. We saw it against TCU. Mm-hmm. Chris Culliver can be a big play threat. We saw it against Charlotte. Gio Lopez can make throws. It's just from that point on, they aren't executing. And Dennis, I know you've been a little bit fascinated by where they're completing passes.
It's interesting in the first 2 games that Gio Lopez with the offense, none of his passes are over the middle of the field. Everything's out to the perimeter. Everything's outside the hash marks, towards the numbers, towards the sideline. Nothing seems to be, hey, let's run a 15-yard, dagger or an in route to an in-breaking receiver that he can hit across the middle. You just don't see it from the offense. I don't know if they, because of his lack of height, don't trust him to throw the ball over the middle, or it's just not his forte, but everything's to the sideline.
One of the worries about Gio Lopez coming into the year when he came from South Alabama was he was very good. He was efficient at South Alabama, but there weren't a lot of dynamic, right? He wasn't making the wow throws. He wasn't running for 60-yard touchdowns. He was a solid decision maker, which is, I think, what appealed to Belichick, right? Because he's always wanted quarterbacks that are going to do their job, not lose the game, protect the football. There are certain throws when you get to a certain level that you need some stuff to you, right? You need some oomph. You need some ability. I'm not saying Gio Lopez doesn't have it, but we haven't seen it yet. You can go back. I was actually looking up pass charts, right? Because I was hoping somebody out there, somebody trusted, had pass charted where his completions were through this season. I didn't look very hard, but I didn't find one for this year. Did find one for some of his biggest games at South Alabama, and there was a dramatic anything beyond 10 yards in the middle of the field that just wasn't there. Some of the stuff short and over the middle was there, little dump-offs and stuff. But, there may be some almost comfort that he doesn't have making those big throws.
I will say early in the game, it was maybe like the first or second play of the game where they ran a little play action. He rolled out to his left, and the guy just kind of leaked out in the flat right there in front of him. Just simple dump off, let the guy turn and catch and run. I thought that's something they didn't do against TCU. So I thought it was good to see Carolina made that adjustment. Hey, give the guy an easy completion early on, especially with how he struggled as the game went along against TCU. Simple little check down, simple dump. But then, hey, air it out for the 51-yarder. And like you said, Culliver makes a heck of a catch on that 51-yard touchdown play.
It's got to be frustrating.
But yeah, but then after that, it's like,
They get Richmond this weekend. Another opportunity for them to get it right because it's not too long till Clemson. And UCF the next week. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
Young in the pocket, steps up, has room to run. He's got the 40, 45, 35 stumbling. Ball came out at the end.
He fumbled.
And Jacksonville recovered the fumble. Man, it's been a tough first half for Bryce Young.
That was in the first half. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Number 1 in the starting 5. Panthers lose 26-10 to Jacksonville. There is an issue with Carolina. There's a bunch of issues. I want to talk about the trust for Canales and Bryce and if it's there or not later in the week. For right now, the issue that stands out to me the most, and this is part of why you draft high at wide receiver, why you draft quarterbacks number 1 overall. When things get going against the Panthers offense, it seems like there's nobody to make the play that snaps them out of it. Because when Bryce threw the first interception, right, you want to yell and scream, right? You want to get really mad. My first instinct was, wait, let's see. This is where we find out if this year is different, right? If somebody makes the play, if the defense goes out there and has his back, gets the stop, and somebody goes and makes the play, that gets everybody to forget about that, and it could be Bryce, he could be picked up by one of his teammates, then that'll show this year is different. Because what happened last year, particularly on offense, is when one mistake happened early in a game, they were donezo. Then it was just, all right, guess this is one of those days. And there was like very little emotional fight back. When your dudes are supposed to be those guys, right? Somebody makes a mistake, your dude says, all right, I'll make the big play that gets us back in it. I'll make the big play that makes everybody forget, that allows that person that made the mistake to take an exhale, to take a breath and go, all right, no harm, no foul. And it just never happened again. And then one mistake becomes 2 mistakes, and 2 mistakes becomes another mental error, and another mental error becomes a bigger issue. The bigger issue becomes a turnover. The turnover becomes points going the other way, and it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs, right? There needed to be someone to stop the skid from becoming an avalanche. And before you know it, avalanche all over the place. I thought Tetero McMillan was a bright spot. I thought J.C. Horn's interception was a bright spot. I thought there were a few bright spots, few and far between. But man, did they need somebody to step up and make a play. Dave Canales, after the game, actually this was earlier today, on the assessment of T-Mac, that's Tetero McMillan in his first game.
I thought he played fast. I thought he looked very comfortable out there one-on-one outside. We moved him around a little bit, and he showed an ability to be able to handle that. He and Bryce were on the same page timing-wise. So I was really pleased with the way he played. I'd love for him to come up with the big touchdown in the end zone, shot down the field, but he ran a beautiful route on it. And he really gave us a chance to have some explosives down the field and to just have a consistent target.
Or do we want?
I thought he played really well. For those of you that think he was, dropped the touchdown, That's an unbelievably difficult catch. If he would have made it, it would have been great. But his arm was being raked back, the one-arm catch in the end zone. And if you think he should have gone with two hands, sure. I mean, a fundamental wide receivers coach probably would have liked that. That's a drop with two hands. You're not catching it like with your front hand as it's coming that way and being able to hold on to it without that back hand. I thought he made some really good catches.
I'll give props to McMillan. He did say today, he's like, I need to get the second hand up there. I need to come down with that catch. So he took accountability for it. As difficult as the play was going to be, I love the fact that he took accountability for it, though.
I think he probably should have been stronger and caught it with the one hand, right? He's a very impressive one-handed catcher.
Yeah.
If his left hand acts in the exact same way his left hand acted, I don't know how you catch that with your right hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's I don't think getting two hands up there would have changed anything if he didn't catch it the way it took place, or at least get a hand out there stronger as it took place. So I thought he did well. I thought the catch that was actually taken away by DPI was a great catch. Great catch. I thought he was open on a few other opportunities. Matter of fact, there was one where he was really open downfield down the left side. Could have been a game-changing touchdown, and Bryce couldn't get the pass off, face some pressure. So I'm looking for big things from Teterow McMillan and high volume, especially in the red zone. Please, in the red zone, more Teterow McMillan in the future. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I can tell you this. There is a good chance I will be putting some Teterow McMillan anytime touchdown scoring bets on DraftKings Sportsbook down. And you can as well. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Your season, it's your season, it's your shot. The NFL season is rolling. Every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scores to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. You could wait for the Panthers, go Teterow McMillan, or you could look at tonight's game if you don't want to wait. How about this? Caleb Williams. He's got a little wiggle to him. He can run a little bit. Plus 475 for him to score a touchdown. You want a fun stat, everybody? 6 players in week 1 thus far have rushed for 2 rushing touchdowns. 6 players total. 4 of them, quarterbacks. I'm just saying. Caleb Williams, plus 475. J.J. McCarthy, plus 550. So nice little payouts on the quarterback rushing touchdowns if that is something you're interested in. The lines and odds are subject to change. And new customers, I have something else for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces to get $200 off in bonus, or $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer. First new subscribers only, and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. You ready for the 2 non-quarterbacks that rushed for 2 touchdowns in week 1? One, Derrick Henry, wildly predictable. The second, former Tar Heel Javonte Williams, opening things up with the Cowboys. The only 2 non-quarterbacks to rush for multiple touchdowns in week 1. Then Justin Fields and Josh Allen and Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts, and a lot of running backs running for touchdowns. The Drive at Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Not only do we need fun facts like that, we also need 2 numbers game contestants. The prize for today, a pair of tickets to see the Lumineers at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 16th. The number to call, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game. The winner will get a pair of tickets to see the Lumineers. Ho! Hey! Lumineers joke, if you caught that. The number to call, 919-860-5326. 5326. Numbers game coming up next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
Minnesota and Chicago.
Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up a shut-up term.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it!
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Soundstation and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Soundstation and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Soundstation and Security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The contestants for today, Dylan and Clayton and Evan and Fuquay. They'll battle it out for Lumineers tickets. Lumineers tickets, the prize for the day. As always, I'll bring them on the show one at a time, ask them a question. Dennis will be our judge. He will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. We'll start with Dylan and Clayton. Dylan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. The question is, as it so often is on Monday, we just finished up a weekend. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
Ooh, got to be ECU getting their first win for the home opener. Go Pirates.
All right, ECU. And they smoked Campbell, by the way, 56-3. There's Dylan's answer. Let's go to Evan and Fuquay. Evan, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, same question to you. This past weekend just wrapped up. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related somehow.
I'll just say the nonstop football being on, but I was up a half a point in fantasy and sat the Bills defense yesterday, and they had -2, so I feel like I got away with one there. So I'll say that's my sports highlight.
That's actually very good managing of your fantasy team, and there's a rush that comes with that. Dennis, which one are you rolling with?
I'm going to go with the ECU victory on this one, simply because, what's the old saying? No one cares about your fantasy team in that regard. But we'll say well played. But we'll say well played in that regard.
I might be one of the only ones, but I care about your fantasy
team. Tim actually does care.
Yeah.
I think, Tim, you've talked about opening up a service where you can just give your –
I have. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, I guarantee you. You pay $20 a month, and I or one of my employees – will text back and forth with you about bad beats in cards, fishing stories, golf stories, and fantasy football. If you want to tell me about how close you came to eagling number 8 on your round with your buddies on Saturday morning, I will respond back, no way, a 7-iron? You flushed it and it spun back just past the hole? Oh, man, if they weren't air raiding, you would have definitely made it. I'm telling you, just someone interested in your stories that most people don't care about. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Patented, by the way. Don't take it. I'll talk about your fantasy team, but I also will actually do that. So Dylan and Clayton gets to go first. Dylan, are you ready to pick a category?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, the categories are NFL, Brad's in the name, players with Brad somewhere in their first or last name. NFL, military brats, somehow, sons of someone in the military. NBA players with weird nicknames, or NHL hurricanes throughout history.
Ooh, NFL Brads.
Brads. Okay, Brad's in the name. These are players with Brad somewhere in their name. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, we're good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Bradley Chubb, Miami Dolphins.
12.
Incorrect. Brad Johnson, Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh. 67.
Incorrect. Bradley Chubb, Miami Dolphins.
48.
Incorrect. Brad Johnson, Minnesota Vikings.
58.
Incorrect. Bradley Chubb, Miami Dolphins.
2.
Correct. Brad Hoover, Carolina Panthers.
Ooh.
Brad Johnson, Minnesota Vikings. Do you have any clue? You're just throwing darts.
I'm throwing darts. I do not know the Brads.
He won the Super Bowl as the quarterback of the Bucks. He wore number 14 with the Vikings. Bradley Chubb, number 2. You got that one. Brad Hoover with the Panthers. Not much time there. 45. You want a fun fact about Brad Johnson? When ESPN had the Ocho going, right, where they had all the other sports, one night, I don't even know, it must have been after a game or something, late at night, I turned on the Ocho. He was one of the 8 finalists in the National Papa Shot Championships, the little basketball in the bar game. He was one of the 8 best players in the world. This was a Super Bowl winning quarterback in retirement, just Papa Shot legend, and also number 14 with the Vikings.
Also the dad to Max Johnson, UNC quarterback.
Correct.
And also his other son plays tight end for UNC.
Jake Johnson. They combined for a touchdown in week 1. And also they're trick shot legends on YouTube. They're an interesting football athletic family. Dylan and Clayton, 1 is what you got. Didn't feel like you were going to get any there for a while, so you snuck 1 in there, avoided the shutout. Evan and Fuquay is up next. Evan, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, military brats, players that are sons of military members of some kind, NBA, weird nicknames, or NHL hurricanes.
They're the NFL military family members.
All right, I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. You need at least 2 for the win. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Aaron Jones, Minnesota Vikings.
33.
Correct. Michael Strahan, New York Giants.
92.
Correct. Devin Lloyd, Jacksonville Jaguars.
48.
Incorrect. Justin Fields, New York Jets.
7.
Correct. Adrian Merle, New York Jets.
56.
Incorrect. Devin Lloyd, Jacksonville Jaguars.
28.
Incorrect. Adrian Merle, New York Jets.
52.
Incorrect. Devin Lloyd, Jacksonville Jaguars.
39.
Incorrect. Adrian Merle,
44.
I would have felt bad if 44 was right because I kind of stumbled there and pushed past the buzzer, but it wasn't, so I feel okay. You did get 3, though. Plenty for the win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Aaron Jones will be playing tonight. You can hear that game right here on 99.9 The Fan for the Minnesota Vikings. You got Strahan. Lloyd, we would have accepted 0 or 33. He starts at linebacker for Jacksonville. So if you watch the Panther game, he would have been running around out there. And Merle with the Jets, 29 is what we were looking for. But like we said, 3 is plenty for the win. You got yourself some Lumineers tickets, so stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to get you your prize.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. And for those of you playing at home that are just curious, I will give you the relations that turn these players into the military brats category. Aaron Jones, his parents are ranked as Army Sergeant and Major, Michael Strahan famously grew up on military bases around the world, partially why he was a kind of a diamond in the rough going into college. He is the son of an Army colonel. Devin Lloyd, his parents are both Navy veterans. Justin Fields, dad is a Marine. And Adrian Murrell of the Jets, he is the son of an Army Sergeant Major and in Fayetteville. So there you go. A little connection to North Carolina as well. Thank you to all of those parents and all of the service members out there listening. Appreciate everything you do for our country. That lets us focus in and have opinions on sports. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, everybody, we do have the Sin City Skateaway happening every hour from noon to 6 all week this week, all week next week, Monday through Friday. We already gave out the keywords for the 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock hour, and they're expired already. But you still have about 20 more minutes until 6 o'clock to text in the keyword for today. It is skate, S-K-A-T-E, for this hour, I should say. Text in skate to 919-860-5326, and that will gain you, if you haven't done so yet this hour, another entry into the Sin City Skateaway, which could win you tickets to see Carolina at Vegas, a trip for two, meaning airfare, a room for 3 nights, food vouchers. It's a really cool prize, but you have to text in skate to 919-860-5326 by 6 o'clock in order to get this hour's entry by 6 o'clock. That is a hard deadline. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something he would like to tell all of you.
That's right, I do. Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Law Tigers. One thing I love about this time of year, especially with fall approaching, love getting out there on the road and enjoying the motorcycle. And we always talk about in sports about having that common interest, with the fan base. You're a fan of a team or you're a fan of a sport. Other people are obviously in that same group with you. And that's actually where Law Tigers comes in if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, because Law Tigers, they are part of the motorcycle riding community. They're out there on the roads just like you are as a motorcycle rider, just like me. And I know if I get injured in a motorcycle accident, I'm grateful knowing that there are people that I can turn to that understand what my bike and my gear are worth, but also what it's like to go through in an accident. That's why with Law Tigers, your case evaluation with Law Tigers, it's always free. Always free to have your case evaluation. Maybe you got injured in a motorcycle accident a few months ago and the insurance companies and everything aren't working the way they're supposed to. You can still get in contact with Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Speak to one of their attorneys, and guess what? You have someone there that knows what you're going through. And again, case evaluation is always free, and you don't have to pay a dime until your case settles. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call the people that have your back. That's Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks at Dave Doran, who coached his NC State Wolfpack to a win over UVA. Next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Football season is back, and let's be honest, your living room doesn't have award-winning wings, a massive beer selection, and over 50 TVs. Carolina Ale House does. We've got homemade favorites and so many screens you can watch every game at once. Bring your crew, bring your appetite, and get loud with us. Don't fumble your game day plans. Come watch the game at Carolina Ale House, where great sports deserves great food. Hell yeah!
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. If you're in the market for a mortgage, good luck. Comparing apples to oranges is now more challenging than ever, as we've noticed a return to 80s-style lending with multiple points being charged up front in order to make the payment appear more attractive. Typically, the lowest rate quote you find will have the highest closing cost you'll find, as numerous lenders play this game of getting you to focus only on the payment and not the $15,000 due at closing. On refinancing, it's even worse, as lenders willingly add these costs to your loan amount. At Miller Lending, we don't believe in closing costs. By working with our popular no-cost program, You simply close on today's rates and refinance anytime you'd like. Nothing rolled in, nothing charged at closing. Imagine having the freedom to take advantage of smaller rate drops, opportunities to drop PMI, or simply put that money to better use. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
The Hot Tub and Sauna Expo is here in Raleigh, September 12th through 21, Atlantic Spas and Billiards. Come for this unique sales event with hot tubs and saunas from 6 different brands. We are remodeling and you will save thousands with factory rebates, new in-stock spas, demos, and floor models. The Hot Tub and Sauna Expo is at our showroom, 8721 Glenwood Avenue, near CarMax, 1 mile from RDU. Save with factory discounts from Hot Spring Caldera, Free Flow, Saratoga, and Endless Pools. September 12th through 21, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Glenwood Avenue, Raleigh.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spread, totals, player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. TNCs apply. In-app only.
Bailey snap to him, design run. He keeps it and sprints off the left side, 25. Room at the 20. C.J. Billy inside the 10 and scores. 30-yard scamper.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we dive into Dave Doran coaching his team to a ACC, non-ACC win, State playing UVA in a non-conference game. Want to remind you, we do have Panther Talk coming up immediately after this show. So you'll hear from Dave Canales. I'm going to say it. I hope he's angry. I hope he yelled at somebody at some point. Coach has got to get in somebody's face after a game like that. But you'll hear from him on Panther Talk and East Straw, voice of the Panthers, immediately after this show. And also later tonight, Monday Night Football. Round out week 1 of the NFL, Vikings-Bears, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Now let's talk State. Let's talk NC State. Let's talk a close win over Virginia, down 10 at half, storm back, take the lead, then hold on for dear life at the end. I have to give credit where credit is due. The thing that State, I think, has struggled with mightily is, and I'm talking about like on a big scale for a while, is killer instinct, putting teams away, right? Sensing the moment. Now, I'm not here to say that they slammed the door on UVA because they didn't, right? UVA had the ball down on the goal line. If Chandler Morris makes a different throw, they may have scored a touchdown and won the game. But he didn't, right? And NC State held on. But there's one particular decision that makes me think things might be a-changing. Fourth quarter, 4-point lead for State, facing a 4th down at their own 28-yard line. This is a very obvious, if it were 1997, everybody is punting, right? They're not even thinking about it. The punter is 3/4 of the way to his spot in the middle of the field before the coach even calls for the punt team because everybody knows they are punting like that. But in a world where analytics are getting better and you're learning what going for it on 4th down means and you're learning, that punting doesn't actually gain as much as you'd think, he kept his offense out there. And not only that, he threw out a young quarterback in a quarterback run package, ran for it, and picked up the 1st down. That is a decision that shows, I think he was sensing the moment. And I think he sensed a knockout blow could come that way. And he went for it. And they backed him up. They picked up the 1st, didn't get points on the drive, but took more time off and increased their team's chances of winning. That is, at the bare minimum, something that needs to be applauded. At the bare minimum, giving your players a chance to win the game on the field and aiding them with your decisions and things like going for it on 4th, knowing if you don't pick it up, you've just put yourself in a hole, right? They're already in scoring position, and there's still plenty of time on the clock. But here's the crazy part. It's not just showing faith in Will Wilson, the young quarterback you put out there to run. It's not just showing faith in your offensive line to move the line of scrimmage and pick up the first down. That's not just it. You're showing faith in your defense, that if they're put in a severely disadvantaged situation, right, if UVA takes over at the 28-yard line or 27, 29, whatever yard line, that they will hold them to a field goal, that they'll get the stop. And it's showing faith in C.J. Bailey, your young quarterback, knowing if we don't get this and they score a touchdown, now we're down 3, and you have to go out there and score a touchdown to win the game, a field goal to tie it. It is such a little thing that just invokes so much confidence. And actually, do you know who I thought of immediately? And it actually aged poorly based on how they played later on in the weekend. I thought of Dan Campbell. How Dan Campbell made a bunch of stupid I'm going for it on 4th down decisions when he was first taking over the Lions, right? Even the analytics crowd that is always saying to go for it was going Dan Campbell's going to it way, way, way more than even we would, right? But every single time in the postgame, whether they got it or didn't get it, Dan Campbell was saying, I have confidence in my guys. I have confidence in my offense. I have confidence in my quarterback. And then over the next, 3 or 4 years, all you saw was the Lions believe in themselves more and more and more and more until, and I'm not making this up, the Detroit Lions were like the swaggiest team in the league last year.
Yeah, they really were.
The Detroit Lions were the most self-confident team in the league last year. That alone is a lesson to be learned, right? So now, State, and I'm not saying that they didn't believe in themselves or whatever, but the next time they're in a situation like they are or like they were against ECU, up 17-0, and they need to slam the door, maybe this is one of those moves where, amongst many other things, they have the swag to go chase the blowout, chase the knockout. Going for it on 4th down just elicits so much confidence. I was listening to an interview with John Harbaugh, head coach of the Ravens, which, again, bad time to talk about the way he manages things after they gave up a horrendous come-from-behind loss, and a bunch of stats about how he's managed since he took over have gone viral. But he does the ask Lamar thing a lot. It'll be 4th and 3. He knows, right? The coach knows whether he wants to go for it or not. And during a timeout in front of the team, he'll go up and be like, hey, Lamar, what do you want to do? Lamar's like, I want to go for it, coach. All right, you got it. Coach, call the play, and sends him on out there. It's 100% a staged event. No quarterback is ever going to go, probably punt it away. I don't know. How's the kicker's leg feeling? Maybe we'll go with the long field goal.
Yeah, coffin corner this thing, coach.
No, it's but doing that in front of the team shows you believe in your quarterback. It shows your quarterback believes in them. It shows everybody believes in the offensive coordinator. That trust is so wildly important. And when it doesn't happen, when that trust isn't there, when it's 4th and 1 and a first down seals the game and you punt it, you're telling your offense they can't get one. They won't get one. We're scared you can't. We're scared you won't. So I'm looking at Dave Doeren going, that's killer instinct, that's confidence, that's a lot of things that I didn't see in the ECU game, all wrapped up into one seemingly insignificant 4th down decision against Virginia that I think could pay dividends. Now the next thing is Dan Campbell didn't do it once.
Mm-hmm.
He does it darn near every time.
Oh, yeah.
He's always instilling faith and confidence in his team, and Dave Doeren has to continue to double and triple down. If you give it all back next week and you don't do it next week, it's completely lost.
And it's really is opposite of the narrative that we've seen oftentimes from regarding Dave Doeren about him being conservative. If 4th and 1, like you said, in your own territory like that in that kind of game.
If it was the other 28, I'm not doing the speech I'm making.
Yeah, that's different.
Like it was, if you put your team in a bad situation if you don't get it, and he didn't entertain that concern.
And props to the team for executing too.
And then you back him up.
Yeah.
Then you got to back him up.
That's the thing as well. It's like, Coach, hey, I believe in you. Go do it. Now it's on me.
Yeah, you can't fumble the snap and then, kick it around. You can't.
Can't do that.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to Panther Talk shortly here, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
That's right. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, maybe watching your hard-earned money just vanish away every single month? Well, stop letting that happen. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can even skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Imagine this. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is going to make way for some Panther talk. You'll hear from Dave Canales, obviously Anish Shroff, the voice of the Panthers. That's coming up immediately after this show in just a couple of minutes, top of the next hour, here on 99.9 The Fan. Then later tonight, Monday Night Football takes over 99.9 The Fan. It is Minnesota at Chicago. Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, a lot of intrigue there, and some fantasy matchups that still need to be decided. I care about that sort of thing. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Subscribe to our YouTube, and have a great night.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
Minnesota and Chicago.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends September 12th.